Hello everybody and welcome to the Apex Legends Master Circuit Wildcard Qualifier for North America. We just got done with a massive amount of amazing action for EU. Now we're going to switch it up, bring in a whole new set of teams, and we're going to tackle 5 more games. I'm Matcham and I am joined by a girl, so we're going to be walking you through all of the fun. You ready for this one, girl?
Absolutely. We just finished watching earlier our first 5 games. So Kings Canyon coming back. If you didn't watch earlier's broadcast, it's super intense. So many squads left alive on the first ring. I don't know if it's going to be the same for NA. I don't know if they're going to be a little bit more aggressive, but we definitely saw some success with Valkyrie in the first portion of our game.
Yeah, just trying to bypass so many of those walls and the benefits and the choke points of that. Always useful, but now very strong. We're going to go ahead and walk you through everything that you need to know about what's going on with the event, how it started, what's going to be going on, how everybody's going to be scoring the points. So let's just go ahead and get that started off right off the get-go. We're going to be doing the wildcard qualifier right now. That's going to be trios, up to 20 teams, and we're going to be doing across 5 different games. Nothing too crazy, all considered, but you only have 5 games, so every single game is so important, and every point matters.
Yeah, the time's definitely going to go by quick, and we're going to show you our point system to see how you can make it into the top of the leaderboard. So for first place, if you maintain your health throughout the whole game and the last one surviving, you are in first and you get 12 points. If you're second, you're just close off, 9 points, so you're missing 3. Then 7 points for third, fourth for 5 points, fifth for 4 points, 6th and 7th get 3 points, 8th to 10th get 2 points, 11th to 15th get 1 point, and if you're the first 4 teams to die, you don't get any points for placement at all, but each elimination grants you 1 point, so the more kills you have, the higher of a chance you get to that top of that leaderboard.
And at the top of the leaderboard, you're going to be rewarded with some amazing prizes. Sure, there's prestige, but there's also some money on the line. $600 for first place, $300 for second, $150 for third and fourth. But don't forget that this is a qualifier. So everybody that's going to be in our top 10 are going to be able to move on to the finals that are going to be going on in just a few weeks. Don't forget the fact that there's also going to be several weeks of action. But this week, we've got some pretty solid teams. And who are they, girl?
Well, we've got plenty. We've got some coming back and some new teams as well. So Titans we see come back. We've got CPT back. We've got AOT. And we've got some new teams as well. Pizza Planet, Team Ramrod's back. Number 2. All right, the 3 Amigos, Trash Can Association, Immortal Animosity, MKE, Headhunters, Hardstuck Rookie. I can't wait to see how these teams perform on Kings Canyon.
Trash Can Association wins my heart just for their name alone. Well, if you're looking at the competition here and you're feeling like you maybe, hey, I want a chance at doing all of this stuff, don't forget the fact that you can sign up every single week that we're having one of these qualifiers. It's going to be at compete.playstation.com, so make sure you jump in for your opportunity to participate inside this because, yes, there is money on the line, but on top of that, it's just really fun. Anytime you get work inside of a competitive community, you find people that are like-minded with you, and if you're watching this, what have you got to lose? Every single time that you play, you're just going to get better, so no reason to stop signing up right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are other games to be played as well.
Yeah.
So anything you can see on PlayStation there might be a tournament there for you. So definitely go check it out. Tell your friends, tell your family, get people involved. Join our community. It's a lovely community. More and more people are joining week by week.
And specifically, I want to give a shout out to everybody that is watching and competing inside this. We are trying to make sure that we get as much growth for the console side of Apex Legends, and PlayStation's doing a great job on supporting that. But that means the fact that we still need some help getting everything off the ground. So make sure that you give some shout outs to your friends that you think might want to compete or at least watch, so that way we can try to get as much growth in this so that all of these players can have as big of a chance to succeed as humanly possible because they deserve it. Now then, we've got all the business taken care of. Now it's time to talk about the games that we're going to be launching into. Kings Canyon, girl. It was a treat earlier today, to say the least.
Yeah, one of our smallest maps in Apex Legends. Super fun to watch. We had a diverse amount of end zones. We had some with so many squads left alive and all of them coming in together and one by one getting picked off. And then we have some open end zones where there's not much cover to be played and it's the long range game, the scout meta we've seen a lot this morning.
Yeah, there is so much that's going to be going on. We haven't seen a whole bunch of innovation as far as trying to bring in some of the new legends. But whenever you're competing, it's all about leaning into the tried and true, and they're tried and true for a reason. But that doesn't mean the fact that I saw you. You got happy every single time there was some variation inside of that one, girl. We saw, like, what, maybe one Vantage earlier today? You think we might see another one?
To be honest, yeah, we might see some Vantage. If these teams playing right now have learned anything or watched the teams earlier, they know that the first few games are going to be the most try-hard, where people are going to be super scared to die, but also super scared to take fights. Don't know if it's going to be the same mentality here, but yeah, we're definitely going to see a variety of legends. What do you think is going to be played the most? Do you think Valkyrie's still going to maintain her edge?
I can see on this map with this tightest of some of these angles are Crypto still having a lot of strength, Valkyrie coming in just because of why not? It's always useful to get around the map and get strong positioning out of it. So we'll have to see if North America agrees. But sometimes North America just decides it's time to kill and makes a whole comp based around that.
That's very true. We see a lot of Horizons, we see a lot of Octanes, so you know they're planning on bringing the aggression in front and forward. We've got Bloodhounds for the scan. We even actually have a Newcastle, which I don't think we've seen very much of this morning, so that's going to be exciting to see. Vantage as well, you called it.
Well, North America really does love to scrap. I will remind everybody that we might have a couple of fights off of the get-go just due to how the nature of the beast works. We got to figure out where everybody's going to be dropping, and so getting those first couple of fights and the contestants that's going to be happening with it is going to be a big part of this. The path for the dropship is pretty simple, so it shouldn't be a problem for anybody to get where they want, but we should note the fact that Market is going to be the good loot location.
Let's make a varsity play.
Good loot location. That's where you're going to find your gold G7 scouts, but also another area that you might find some gold weaponry is caustic treatment. There's always a couple of gold weapons inside of there, or a gold bag, gold knockdown shield. Probably not a gold knockdown shield in tournament mode per se, but we've got some teams all spreading around. No one taking cage, no one taking hydro, so we are going to see some 50-50 contests on the west side. Looks like a lot of people left dropping for the end. Even one person still in that ship. Might want to AFK a little bit in there. Going on, he's trying to go on to World's Edge there at the bottom left of our corner.
I mean, you know, just GG re. You know, I don't like this plane path, so maybe another one's going to be coming, but whenever we look at this, already getting the hot drop situation brewing, everybody wanting to make sure that they get at least off on the right foot, so don't be surprised if this is a very tactical play. They don't know who they're going to be dropping with, so it is entirely blind until they figure this out. The circle is going to be leaning into that eastern area where we might get some swamps love, maybe some labs. We'll have to see. But, I mean, right now, everybody is playing this very, very careful on drop. Specifically, I've got my eyes drawn to airbase and the fact that there might be a potential fight happening there because airbase is always feisty.
Yeah, we've got airbase, we've got relic, and we've got runoff. And airbase and runoff are right next to each other, so take a look at this. Trash Can Association are playing as a duo. It's gonna be hard for them to
KP.
fight. You don't want to end up being the KP.
Yeah, I mean, coming in as a duo and landing airbase, that's some, I guess, some confidence. Now that on the opposite side, it looks like it's going to be a dual academy. Well, actually, this is going to be more in the north in the runoff area. So, Sly Beast Muku is going to be the team that's going to be the north of what we're going to be seeing. So, got to be careful with this one. They're going to be coming down. Mr. Steal Your Girl KP does realize what's going to be going on, and it looks like it's time to get out of there. Meanwhile, jumps and does go through the ring, but that's okay. We'll still respect it, Rama.
I don't know if I'm mishearing things, but I think Rama's getting chased. Not unable to get that banner. 50 seconds left. We're going for the heals. Slowly healing up with syringes. As Rama probably doesn't have that much to begin with. They just ended up dropping a minute ago. It's going to be hard recovery.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be CCS that was going to be behind them taking some shots. Not aware of Rama got to, so it looks like Rama's playing along the coastline. Pretty close, moving in between Gauntlet and Relic, but CCS does get control over Gauntlet. And most teams are actually getting some level of separation, but I do want to point out, Mr. Steal Your Girl KP, I'm still keeping an eye on you, and it looks like they're going to airbase. So let's just go ahead and bring more party over there in a very western area that nobody is going to want to stay in for too long, as the ring is already closing in.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch where the zone was actually pulling this time around, but we'll see that shortly. Couple shots in the airbase, but no one wants to stay here for too long. Ramrod number 2, scanning. They know there's a team above them. They're all huddled up. This could be a dirty fight if they end up getting a 3v3 because the zone is almost on top of them. Now they do have to rotate as well. One cell, I can't imagine they have very many health meds.
Yeah, this is a very quick off the get-go style of fighting. So if anything, this actually is going to be a follow-up that's going to hit later, as with the limited looting that all of these teams are going to be doing, they're going to be coming in very loot-starved into the fight. You can see that it's all going to be a lot of white shields coming into this. And we do see the rotation coming in now that the zone is starting to get that harassing damage. But that means the fact that people are just going to be jumping right into the waiting arms of a couple of teams that might be trying to gatekeep. Does look like Ramrod is going to go to the north and dodge that. Looks like they have their eyes set to bunker. Still, your girl KP is going to be following in back behind CCS, who opted into going more southeast.
Yeah, wow, they did have a duo gatekeeping them there a little bit. They took a bit of the storm, but not too much. They can outrun it, which is great for them, as they really don't have that much to heal with and not that much to even shoot with. No attachments on the wingman whatsoever. It's going to be a tough game for them. On the other side of the map, CCS going in with a Volt, almost managing to get that knock, but unable to without the bullets in reload form. So his teammate was there to help him, and they do get a thirst. Pizza Planet was eliminated.
Now going to have to continue on their path. It looks like they are going to go ahead and eliminate Trash Can Association. Dynastied and the rest of his group who dropped into Relic are going to be rotating on a similar path, so going to have to be careful. This is going to be a problem. We talked about looting in later since the fact of all of these holdups that were going on to the west, and now having to chase the circle as well is going to be just a double up of problems. Back in the north, you can see that's having their problems of their own, trying to hold up the line. Mortal Animosity is going to have some animosity moving into the next round, wanting to make sure that they get some vengeance on that.
Oh my, already 12 squads remaining. This is the complete opposite of what we seen this morning. Fighting off the get-go. Lucid's gonna have to try and stay alive. No, Lucid goes down now. Gold Josh going for the revive. Here's the zip line. It's gonna stick this one. Is he gonna be able to survive? Oh. Nope, they all go down to the likes of MKE. They get the revive. I think they get all of the loot as no one seems to be nearby.
There's also a fight going off in the zone between Dynasty and CCS as they bumped into each other. So mainly it's going to be even worse situation. You can see that BNB is trying to follow up on some of this, but it's just going to be a run into bunker, as it's going to be Shin Malfit is going to be in front of him. They did manage to get one of the members down and flush them out, but the other two do look like they're making a beeline for bunker. We still have 3 teams that are out in the zone right now, just due to all this early game fighting and not being able to rotate fast enough.
Yeah, it's hard when you do take those fights inside of the zone, or you do have that late rotation, but BNB do have 4 medkits, at least on Dynasty, so they'll be able to survive most definitely. And once they get into the zone, there won't be anyone there, so it could be a good rotation. But for the other teams, they've got a couple teams waiting on the edge of that storm for now, so they don't want to get in too quick.
Elimination points seem to be what everybody was after. We were talking about this beforehand, and the importance of points per game and trying to make sure that you keep your PPG as high as possible. It looks like that's going to be what a lot of these teams are aiming for. When they saw the circle pop all the way across the entirety of the map, just going for those kills so that way you can secure some type of points is absolutely pivotal to success. We have seen the circles continue to lean into what looks like a lab ending area, and many teams already getting control over that. So while we are going to see these teams make it into the circle, it's just going to be a continued run to the east.
Yeah, there could be a team playing swamps there on the swamp side. If you can hold that, it would be an easy rotation, as you have 2 chokes to get into labs. And there are plenty of buildings in labs, so first come, first served. I know there are a few teams playing for zone already. Only 11 squads left. We're almost halfway through the lobby here. BNB did manage to make it in safely, as we saw earlier. We knew that they would be able to do so. But are they going to be able to find a good spot in zone? Now, the outer edge might be safe for now, but the smaller and smaller this gets, they don't have that rotational character like Valkyrie, so they do have to continue to play edge.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's harsh whenever you can't even really use throwing down any gates because you're just going to be running after the zone the whole way. We've got a potential of a fight as it looks like Lucid is going to get knocked, and MKE was eliminated, so every team in the West is starting to fall one on top of another.
Yeah, we saw that on the map there. The West teams were going to collide, and that's what ended up happening. This is a place that I really don't like to fight because you always get third-partied here. BNB looking to be one of those third-partiers. There's a bunch of people looting on that bin there, but they couldn't see due to the smoke, so the smoke really might have saved them, and now they've been spotted out. So Dynasty throwing that barrage down. Doesn't seem like they want to push though as of yet.
No clear opening yet. This is where MKE died at just one moment ago, so seeing if they can get, spotting out a very vivid point as they're going to continue making their push forward. BNB going to continue the hunt, and this is away from zone, so at least getting Dr. Magic, Curiosity, and the rest of the team away from this might buy them some extra loot, some extra utility to work with, but they have to be careful. There is Dead Out Killer and Shin going to be coming in on a similar path. You said the fact that this gets third-partied all the time. Well, we've had one team fall, one team leave, another one come in, and another one now going to get spotted in rotation. It's like it's never the place you want to be at.
Yeah, this is a tough spot to rotate because right underneath this building, there's just a whole bunch of open field, and it's really hard to rotate here, as you can tell. But that one solo did manage to get up into that choke somehow, some way, still alive.
Looks like this is where most of the calm is starting to kick off. Dynasty might bump into Shin, the other side of Dead Out Killer that we saw just a moment ago. We'll have to see how this is going to continue rolling together. As we know, solos in this area are not the easiest to survive from. Yep. Go ahead and hit some more shots into it and more problems. You can see the fact that we are at least finally getting close to the circle, as it is about as far east as you can get, and all the teams are finally meeting up. But that does mean that we have a potential of a death funnel down in that southwest. Shin's going to run through, and 3 more teams might be following.
We had a team crafting and rig. They're just getting out of storm now. Zone 3 will close in 1 minute and 45 seconds. Another fight here. Okay, near water treatment. Very nice shots. Mid-air spray with the Volt. Perfect by Team Parallel. Getting a couple points themselves. And another placement point in the top 10.
Now, it's just the continued fighting that's going to be going on in the southwest. BNB on the hunt for all of the craziness that's going to be going on. Danny did see what was going to be happening, cut out to the west. There's going to be a firefight right around the corner. Parallels trying to fight their way through this one, but you can see no clean sight lines have been found just yet, but that means the fact that BNB can flank in back behind this might opt into third partying. Smoke's going to start clearing. Time for the shots to connect. Parallel does get their shields back up, so it looks like they're going to continue the press in this direction, and that should get them away from BNB, who are right at their backs. But no, one of the members is going to go down. Parallel down to 2, and is going to find this to be an even bigger problem as here comes BNB.
Oh my goodness, Regretful is feeling a little bit regretful as their team is now going to be eliminated at 8th place, potentially, unless he can survive for a bit longer. BNB tracking Titans down. Regretful staying alive there on the edge, hoping that nobody sees him, but everyone's got their focus on him. It's just going to be so hard to survive. He's cracked, he's flash, and he's eliminated. Parallel goes out of this one. BNB, though. What can they do here?
It looks like they're contemplating making the push, and they know back behind them is pretty open, so if they need to rotate back through the zone, they can. But right now, it feels like they've got the rhythm, they've got the momentum, and they're trying to exploit it. BNB sees the fact that they get some damage, but it doesn't look like enough to encourage a full-on push. Instead, going to step away, be content with the loot, and maybe just rotate back around to the north.
Yeah, they had some good damage output there, but it is top 7. They do have a lot of death boxes nearby, and they could just take their time here and check to see where the next zone is pulling, whether they want to go towards swamps or on the outer edge. It seems like they're going around that mountain like you were saying. They know that it's clear, and that's the path that they're going to take. There might even be a fight in labs that they want a third party.
Tennis has to be careful. They're running right into all of the Sly Beast crew. But guess what? B&B is already flanked around this, so they're trying to make a push into this as well. Dual Academy is already eliminated, but TTN has got to hold this up as B&B on the other side of it wants to make more. They wanted to try to get some more of these elimination points. TTN does have a read on what's going to be going on. AOT is in the north of this, can provide oversight, and is taking some pot shots, but that is about as much as they want to give. They want to stay inside the zone, as this is one of the few firefight that's going to be happening outside the circle. It's just going to be solos limping into ADT's positioning.
Yeah, it was really crucial that they took on a really fast fight into this building and they cleaned it as fast as they did, because B&B were so very close and they were able to reset shield battery, and B&B could not do anything on this push. So they're going to go back ahead, rotate around, and focus on zone, because they know that team inside has shield swaps, has all of the meds, and has recovered thus far. So they have to make a different strategy going in forward into this final end zone with 6 squads left.
6 squads already, and here we go. B&B making the push into AOT. It's going to be Moyai that's going to have control over one side of it and Owner on the other, but just trying to navigate through this. They're doing a pretty good job of just kind of flanking around. Keep in mind that they are fairly separated away, and so Whoopa is way back behind this, and it's going to be ADMP and Dynasty that have moved forward right underneath of AOT.
Care package that nobody wants to grab because it might be a little bit too dangerous, or they're focused a little bit more on the zone here. But it's going to be a slow end zone, as the very beginning of the game was all fast paced. And we've got a Wope looking around. Every time he's scoping out there, he's looking for other teams. And that's why you see him scoping all of the time. He knows there's a team underneath. He's going to be calling that out to his team. Take a look at this end zone. We were talking about how there's either building end zones or all open field end zones. And this time around, it's going to be an open field end zone.
I want to also point out CPT is in the north. They're going to have a lot of vision on this circle and don't really have to move too fast either. So they can really just supervise what's going to be going on ahead of them. They do have some like light cover that can be played, but you can see as the zone's going to be coming in, tries to scout it out, tries to get some more information. Unfortunately, nobody is wanting to move in yet. The closest team to them is going to be to the southeast.
I feel like we didn't see CPT that much this game, but take a look at how many kills they've got. He's got 6 assists, meaning that the team already has 2 team wipes, which is 6 points overall, and they've made top 6. This could be a really big game for them. They've got Massive as well. And like you said, they have a really good position in this map.
Everybody else is going to have to fight each other, with the potential of TTN being the only target that could be close. You can see that they're just going to be wrapped right around, not the cliff facing that they're holding on to here, but one that's going to be further across. B&B, on the other hand, is trying to figure out what they're going to do, as they have a full squad that is stacked on top of them. So this looks like a firefight that's got to happen. And don't forget about Danny G, also over here, the solo for his squad, still just trying to hold out and get some survival points.
Survival points are necessary to make sure you get into that top 10. So you want to make as many points as possible. We've seen someone do it earlier where they got top 2 as a solo, ratting it out to the 9 points. But look, oh my goodness, this is anxiety inducing. Is that the word?
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
100%. But hey, look, now there's a full squad of AOT that's going to go ahead and help out Axolotl, so that way that maybe there could be a chance for him to survive. TTN is going to be moving into the south and going to be bumping into B&B, as Danny G is going to be clinging to life, waiting for the footsteps to disappear. While this is happening, CPT is making a move from the north, and it's all about to go down. You can see B&B trying to hold their way through this with still 3 members up, and yes, it's going to be Titanus that is going to go down, but guess what? CPT also along this line and trying to make a play. While this is going to be happening, they have got to be careful. It is just going to be 3 squads left, and Danny is one of them, trying to cling to life and see if maybe he can sneak in back behind this.
Oh my goodness, we were talking about Danny making it to second place. Oh, eliminated. Now we're just in a 3v3. All right, this is going to be straight up. Do we have our ultimates? Oh, we get the knock already. A Wolf goes down. Magic with a perfect shot. R301 coming in. Can they push on in through the smoke? It's hard to see here. They're not going to be able to get any shots off right now. And the ultimates are coming in. They do not want to play this too fast. playing this patiently. They know they have to heal after they get the revive off, and they're playing the corner. They're playing the gatekeep, and they're shooting on in. The only way they can get into the zone is from this side. No, Curiosity goes down. What's going to happen next?
They're stepping away from it. This wall blocking out both teams. The last two alive, clinging over here. Looks like B&B is going to try to make the run around. Goes, steps in, tries to survive through it. Going for the gravity wall, jumps, but is going to get held up. CPT is holding the line right now. Another member goes down, just trying to juke through. Looks like we are fully lined up into this one. Now, Dr. Magic, Logie still alive right now and trying to figure out what is going on around them. Vision has been lost at this stage. Finally spotting out in the distance what needs to be going on. Dynasty just shifted away from this. Now waiting. CPT is going to spot him out and take our first round.
Oh my goodness, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go because I had no idea that other team was in that little crevice area. It was such a lucky spot to be in.
Yeah, it provided some safety for a while, but then whenever they had to try to make the push out, it was so hard pushing through the zone, but they did a great job of sneaking through. I love the idea of trying to jump out of it immediately, but you can see some signage got in the way. Made that a lot more complicated than I think that they were expecting.
Yeah, they did get stuck on that post there, so that was unfortunate. Going with the gravity lift, things like that do tend to happen, but CPT, they had the better end of the stick. They had the better side of the zone. They got at least 9 kills because they had 6 beforehand. They got these last 3, so that's going to be a really big game for them.
Yeah, I mean, that was North America in a nutshell. I feel like it was right off the get-go. Let's fight and let's continue to fight. But again, that was also about drop spots and stuff like that. Maybe the next game could be a smidgen cooler. We don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't know. It's hard to cool it down once things get so hot, right? Like people are going to continue with what worked for them. But yeah, we'll definitely take a look. Logie's changed his name. Logie Slays with the R301. Ramrod 2. This was really nice to see with that evade, but he was able to get that knock and then he ended up going down.
I mean, that was just the name of the game. You start winning a fight, and then suddenly the third party comes out of nowhere. Apex at its tried and truest. You got to make sure that you never tunnel vision is. It was so many crossways fights as right as soon as you get control. No, parallel. That spray is just gorgeous.
Speaking of tunnel visioning, I think Parallel ended up dying here by fighting so much, and Titans ended up fighting them, and then they got wrapped around, getting pinched. That's what happens when you fight so much, and there's still plenty of teams to be able to wrap around you, so they ended up getting eliminated. Maybe they shouldn't have been so aggressive. Maybe it'll work out next time.
I don't know, but B&B was aggressive everywhere. They were making pushes. If there was a party, if there was a fight, if there were even just 2 players looking at each other, it seems like they were involved in it. And yes, it does carry them into the later stages of the game. And Sign trying to jump away. There you can see. Head bop. That one feels bad.
Yeah, they played so well and so consistently throughout. Unfortunately, the zone was kind of on their back. They hit their head on that sign right there. B&B did play really well, and I think they got a lot of kills, so they won't be too far behind on the leaderboards.
Yeah, that's it on the opposite end of it. Oh, Dr. Magic, while he was useful in assisting everything that was going on, Logie managing to pick up a ton of kills. 6 for himself, so that gives them a total of 9. Pretty decent damage spread across the board, and also very high shot accuracy coming up from Curiosity as well as Logie.
Yeah, and you know Dr. Magic's got all of those assists, playing the crypto, the drone gets a little bit of the scan, and boom, there's a kill point for you. So he's been involved in everything that they have done. 30% accuracy, that has been crazy. Logie's been a slayer for his team for sure.
Oh yeah, as we're going to continue looking our way through this one, our winners did a great job of holding out, but I just want to see how much the kills are going to affect the overall leaderboard as we're going to take a look at where everybody's going to be standing. And yeah, CPT, 12 placement points, 9 elimination, barely edges out B&B just because of the fact that they were tied up in kills, the first and second being the differential.
Yeah, wow, just the point system getting that second place. They weren't able to get so many kills though. If If they had killed CPT, they would have had a little bit more of an advantage there, but they hadn't. Titans also had a lot of kills. Oh my goodness, their top 3 teams almost had 10 kills each. Parallel as well, we've seen them. They were aggressive, but then they got pinched. Unfortunate in that spot, but you know that they've got the fighting power. You know that they've got the mechanics, and that's what you really need to see in a winning team.
So, we've now finished game 1. So what, we're 20% through, all considered. Now, moving forward off of this, we had a lot of hard shifted circles. Let's be real, that was a lot going on to the east, but also a lot more activity that was happening in the west for North America than what we saw in EU, like airbase getting some attention, runoff. Like, these are areas that were just kind of loot and go. Do you think that we might see people still contesting for that, or is it kind of done and solos are just going to, or solo squads are going to drop there?
Well, we did see maybe 2 POIs that were open, so people might take a look into that. But yeah, you're right. We saw a lot of teams fight on that west side, whereas in EU, we saw people more or less wanting map room, wanting repulsor in that area and dropping there. So it's really nice to see the differences there. But our NA teams have fought and fought and fought so much more in our first game than I would have expected. Excited to see the second game and see how that one runs out.
There's one thing that I know, and that is North America, whenever we're going to be seeing them in competitive stages, if they're going to fight, they are going to make it sure that they make a full committal in there. There isn't a retreat line, I think, that comes out for North American teams. It's either we're going to win this or one of us is going to try to run away from the fight at the end of it, and there is no in between.
Yeah, I was giving someone some advice the other day that I had learned in my earlier Apex days, is like, even if you disagree with your IGL sometimes, you just got to go through with it. Even if you think your IGL is leading you into death, well, it's better that you do it as all 3 team members. If you leave your IGL in there by themselves, then yes, your team is going to die. Yes, you're not going to win the team fight if you don't go in. And yes, you might end up getting third-partied, but the faster you get it done, the more of a chance you're going to be able to recover. And we've seen that with Titans last game, where they went in really, really fast in labs, and then when the third party did come, they were already healed up.
Yeah. What's the old saying? It's better to have a bad plan and everybody commit to it than just run away and have no plan at all. So I've been in plenty of situations where teams made a call to do something. I was like, we're all going to die. And 2 of us did, but one person managed to finish out the fight, got the points, and then continues on their merry way to still pick up some placement points after that. So sometimes it's just about making the sacrifice. It's a team game, even though Apex sometimes makes you feel like you can kill the world by yourself.
That's very true. You can pull off many, many clutches if you try hard and hard again, but in a tournament like this, it's almost impossible to do a 1v3, but we've seen it happen a couple times in the past, and maybe we'll see it happen again.
I mean, if we get some more of those gravity jumps going off, with Parallel being able to trace that perfectly while they were launching through the air, maybe we might be able to see some 1v3s out of that. That was a very, like, I'm still kind of astounded by that. I can't even come close to trying to hit that type of aim while hitting one of those walls. I feel like it just goes awry everywhere.
Yeah, I actually wanted to play Horizon the other day when I was learning controller, but I'm like, I can't even aim while I'm on the ground. How am I going to aim in a gravity lift just yet? I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, it does take some getting used to. If you guys missed the EU side of it, Girl was giving us the story of how she made the transfer off of mouse and keyboard and has been playing over onto the controller and trying to make the adjustments onto that. And a braver soul than I, because while I did start off on controller, I made the switch over to mouse and keyboard, and then I lost all of the skills. It's like my thumbs don't work anymore.
Oh, no, I'm sure they would. You just got to give it a few days. Give it a few days and you'll see the improvement. It's all about that, what do you call it? Where you just do something over and over again.
Repetition.
Repetition, sure. There's another word. It'll come back to me.
I'm going to be waiting now. If you don't tell me, I'm going to be sad, and it's going to bother me the whole rest of the day.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. There we go. Okay. Feel good about it, because it's one of those things that whenever somebody tells me that, now the whole rest of the day I'm going to be like, what were they saying? And 90% of the time, they never say it back. They never go, oh, remember that thing. The conversation's done, and it's just going to haunt me.
Well,
welcome
now
what's like
it
to
won't
live
have
there. Thank you. You saved me here. We're trying to get game number 2 underway. It should be just a couple of more minutes. We are not going to be taking a break, so just make sure that's one of the reasons you're listening to us talk about what was happening in EU, about the struggles of trying to make the switch over from controller, is because we just want to make sure that we fill up this all the way into game number 2 because we want to keep the action stacked. Apparently, North America wants to do the same thing because there are no lulls in this train so far.
There were so many people prepared in EU to play very aggressive players and very aggressive legends, but nothing went down throughout the entire map, so nobody died for like a couple zones. And then in NA, everyone's playing the aggressive legend, and everybody's dying through those couple of zones closing in. So really interesting to be in a certain region and to see if your play style suits that region or around you.
It's so weird because we talk about it so much, about different play styles, adjustments. You can see that getting control over circle, high ground advantage, all of these things do have their merits. But sometimes you just got to run and gun. And when you got to chase the circle for forever, that's just the only thing that you can really do. You can make tactical choices, but when your tactical choice is just to always go east, there's not a lot of choices in that one, so you're just going to have to shoot your way through it. And we'll have to see if Hardshift's going to continue for that, if we might get some relenting and maybe see the center of the circle.
Yeah, well, we're seeing a bit of the same thing, although I do see a Loba. I'm not sure if I saw her last time. With Loba Vantage on that team, we've got another Fuse. Horizons have been very popular. Mad Maggie, a lot of Seers, couple Pathfinders. What's the most interesting comp you see? Oh, we got a Lifeline, Bangalore, and Gibby. That's interesting.
I saw one off to the left side there for a second that it looked like I saw an Octane that was being used, but I couldn't see what the other ones were. My picture got in the way, so I apologize about that one, but I'm a sucker for Octane, man. Octane is in there. There's just something about it. Gotta go fast. Gotta have fun.
Octanes are really good in this map for third partying. If the whole map's fighting, you can get in and get out really quick. So I definitely agree with you there. Octane's so fun to play and so fun to watch. This is going to be a mid-centered zone. We've got a zone pulling up. What is this? It may be no name above cage or near containment. Could even be no name near bunker. Could pull back down.
Well, would you look at that? Everybody is going to drop past containment, which is going to have some... Well, no, wait. Maybe Gunna might have stopped there. Looks like they did stop on the outskirts of it, so should be rewarded with some heavy loot for that one. It looks like TCA is having some trouble figuring out exactly where they want to go, as they're going to end up next to CPT and avoiding KDC Vic over there, but much calmer. We saw, like, what? I would say three or four hot drops on top of each other. This time, much more measured and drop, and really nobody in the center.
Yeah, I've actually played an end zone to the west of Cage plenty of times where I would go to Market, I would fight in Market, and then I would fly to Cage side once the zone closes in and kind of work my way up from east to west because there's a huge high ground area in that corner there on the mountain. So you definitely want to have the high ground there, but if someone pushes you from Cage side while you're there too early, you could die. So it's all about timing, I think, in this end zone, if it is the end zone that I'm thinking of.
I do want to point out, I'm not certain if it's a method to the madness yet, or, well, we were caught up in a whole bunch of the action. I didn't really watch it the same way. I feel like we didn't have very many teams drop center map in the last game, and this time we have near on none either, with only having, what, 2 teams that are going to be inside the circle?
No, I think you're right. I think Cage was free last game too, I believe. So I think you're right about that one. Very nice charge rifle shots, Mr. Steele. Yo, KP is Mr. Steele. I am your KP. Oh no.
Oh, Trash Can Association trying to run. Remember, Carnage and Mr. Steele, your KP were just looking for somewhere to loot. They got pushed off a second ago, and now Carnage just trying to get away. This is a brave battery. Is he going to get it off before he makes the jump? And yes, just narrowly. Shots are going to be connecting. Knocked about half of his shield off, and he is off screen. Have to see how he's doing. Near on no shield left. Half-life. Can he get away? And he's... Oh, no. There's another team over here. Are you kidding me that he's going to be landing next to another squad and run off?
It is tough to be a Pathfinder, man. It's tough. hitbox is so big, everyone's shooting you. He could take the balloon and go back for the banner, potentially, if they're not banner camping. But yeah, Trash Can Association, they've got lots of VOD here. They gotta see what spots are open. They could maybe land cage safely and be able to play it out as a duo. It's just so hard to 50-50 contest when you're a duo, man.
Looks like Truly Chewy and team did hear this come in, and they're going to continue to jump in. Hey, Carnage, I'm going to give you a hint. The next place that you're going to also has a squad there, so you're going to have to pull off of that. And at this point, there's just got to be profanities that he is just listing off every single time he catches some airtime. Just like, are you kidding me? Where is everybody? But it's the center, man. The center is free. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who really would have thought that no one would be fighting on edge and everybody would make their way into the end zone? Well, still, looks like no one's in that end zone. Is Gunna alone as a rat? Might be, from what I'm seeing. And the rat is the first person and the first team to make it inside that center circle.
As we're looking through, BNB is playing to the south of where Carnage just made their jump. It looks like they're making a push into the north to see if they can spot out anything. It was beneficial for them to do so last time. So Carnage is going to have to be careful, but I think he's got enough of a lead that they shouldn't concern him just at the time. But back behind him, it's going to be our airbase team that started to make their own move into this. So Carnage could potentially find himself with two different teams that are going to be wanting to hang out with him really quickly. And since he's going away from bunker, maybe he can slip by. BNB, they are directly to his west, and they passed like two ships in the night, not spotting each other.
Yeah, that's really good on him for rotating early. Now, BNB seemed to want to 3-2-1 this guy on the top. Now, don't know if his teammates are ready to shoot, but he told... Oh, no, they're definitely not ready. They're still in their base. He's totally telling them to hurry up and come on because we could get this potential one clip and push up, Horizon queue up, and finish this whole squad in an instant.
Reinforcements are starting to get there. There's the sink. Everybody leaning in takes the shots. They do manage to break the shield, but they do not manage to get the knock. Now they've got the outer wall. How much of this are they going to commit to? Carnage hears this, by the way, and dashes. He wants nothing to do with this. He's Pathfinder out. And so that means that this is going to be a contained fight. While this is going to be going on, 3 different teams are also fighting in the north around Pit on the outside of it. So they're probably going to see some of this going on. So this could quickly become some type of 3- or 4-way fight, depending on how that goes. So BNB realizes that they need to make sure that they push this quite quickly, as it is going to be the opposing team running to the north into that firefight we were talking about a second ago. So jumping from in the Hornet's nest into the fire.
Yeah, CPT is not that far away, and they're also in that 3v3 situation. They got a knock, but they also did get knocked on their team as well. Logi's getting revived here, 16 squads remaining. They're still in the zone. 5 or 6 teams here on the bunker side just waiting to fight each other out, and you definitely don't want to be the first team to go down. BNB, they're going to look over CPT behind them, but they've also got a team in bunker in front of them. Shots going off. Truly Chewy goes down.
Going to be making the push into the choke point, realizing the fact that it is a target-rich environment, and they have got to be careful. So BNB playing this outside in the zone, thinking that there can't be too much that's going to be going on other than what they're trying to pick up, as they do get a KP. But guess what? It is not going to be over. Dr. Magic and the rest of the team are going to be to the north. They could be wrapping through Pit, so have to keep an eye on that. Also, Range Roven is hiding around this position, but I think that he's just kind of sitting this one out. KDC Vic has already made the wrap through the choke point and managed to make it inside the safe zone. So while this was crazy, it looks like it's going to slow down for a while. As, I don't know, CPT looks like they could path this way and make it spicy again.
Yeah, it's really up to them. They've only got 1 squad near the vicinity, which is what they just scanned on that banner. They can decide whether they want to fight or not, but it looks like he's going into the zone, into the storm, and rotating around near containment side.
Ooh, Dual Academy on the northeast, opposite side of everything that we've been talking about, has bumped in, and you can see that Sly Beast Miku is going to kind of hide. It is this Sly Beast squadron of DM and Emo as well, prepping themselves up, got their shield back into, starting to make a push down. While this is going to be going on, Regretful and the rest of the crew does hear this and is moving into the north. So let's just go ahead and make this a 3-way fight every single time we hear any shots, because I guess people are bored. It's just time to make sure that you can't sit there for too long. Can't let your trigger finger get too cold, right?
You gotta assert dominance in this lobby, which is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Miku goes down. You definitely don't want to be the first person down, especially when you're playing Lifeline, the one legend that can try and get a revive on your team. But Miku almost thirsted and will get thirsted by the G7 scan, the R31 combined. They do see AOT in the building underneath them. Now, do they recognize this is a full new team? They do have a Seer, so they should have that knowledge.
Have to see how this goes. They might find themselves sandwiched. I want to remind everybody that we are not inside the safe zone right now, as only two teams and one, Carnage, are inside the safe zone, so good job on Carnage staying alive. Parallel now looking down into everything that's going on. AOT just trying to get away, and that's going to force them down to the south, and they might be able to wrap away from this one. We'll have to see how that one's going to go. A Sly Beast crew is not going to be coming, but TTN also here's what's going to be happening, so now 4 teams lining up in this area.
Oh, Sly Beast Elmo kind of wants that vengeance for their team, but Parallel, they're outputting so much damage, it's going to be hard to 2v3 them. They should be able to get the banner and run, but no, Tex ends up taking Beast Doom down.
It's going to be caught up right now as Parallel feels like they're going to be winning the fight. It's going to be a whole new contender, and TTN that's going to just drop right on top of him. Jewel Academy does get eliminated, but having to now step away from all of the violence that's going to be going on. TTN comes into this one beneficiaries of being the last team in, and have got to be careful. Smoke's going to be down to maybe slow down everything. That's going to give them some time to maybe reset. Stepping back in, just openly sprays right as soon as they step up. Yellow shields are going to provide enough as Regretful's going to go down. Now, just a little something trying to survive just on health. No more shields left. Nothing else on the other side. This team is trying to survive, but Parallel just doesn't have too much that they can work with. Zone's going to come in, goes for the spray, and is trying to hold it together. They're going to go down, but the Zone is going to be there as well.
Wow, so that was 2 really strong teams fighting, but Titans getting the upper hand of it. They're going to be able to heal up and get inside as long as they get enough meds to walk inside the zone. Carnage staying alive in market, getting shot at, having to pop a Phoenix kit, running away from a squad, and is getting scanned. Does not have grapple. It's a 9-second cooldown, has the team shooting scout shots, so should be able to get away. Not able to connect the zip line just yet. And we're out of there, and we have grapple off cooldown, so it should be enough to get out, but it does not mean he's not going to encounter another squad.
That felt like the slowest zip line in all existence. Now just trying to path into the zone. I like this. Drop lower, good map awareness to get away from it. AXG has to be careful now that they've taken some shots. Guess what? Dynasty'd heard that and is now seeing if he can scout out anything. 8 squads remaining. And still, no sights set on the circle as everybody's wanting to play edge and make sure that nobody is going to be sneaking up back behind them.
Yeah, so we've got AOT near Cage, we've got BNB alive, we've got CPT alive, 8 squads left remaining. And this is that high ground area that I was talking about. You want to play from Cage side and work your way over into the other corner. But there's just so many chokes here. There's so many line of sights on AOT. Oh no, and AOT gets ratted on and knocked down. Moyai will have to try and survive with no armor left. They're running away. Chris Uwu taking down owner of AOT.
BNB is now making a move for the zone itself and is going to get heavily rewarded for that as there's no one around. Titanus getting some air, trying to see if they can spot out the remnants, but instead going to get a rock to the face and slow down the vision of what they're going to be able to spot out. AOT is going to find themselves sandwiched before too much longer, as they did have something that was going on inside the circle. It's going to be Cindy Simmer that heard what's going to be going on, so Titanus has to be careful now. Looks like they have to figure out the way that they're going to want to push this, but guess what? BNB, who got the circle, says the fact that we don't want to stay here for too much longer. They're going to be wrapping in back behind TTN, and TTN has got to be careful. It's only a matter of seconds before BNB is going to round the corner on them, and it does look like they spotted it out. Now, Peak Battle going to be committing over here as nobody wants to move down into the cage just quite yet.
Oh my goodness, BNB taking the high ground here, looking for angles, getting shot actually from behind in the same very horizon view that he took. Smoke, ulti, hopping down, but he is scanned by the micro drone, so they know exactly what position he's in. That's why he's using the door for cover.
now slowed down, resetting, getting shields back up. CPT is going to be the north hunting a solo, but they're going to hear this soon and might opt into third party. ADMP is now down. B&B, they were the aggressors into this, but have one of their members out and now trying to figure out how they can hold this. Steps around the corner, just instantly gets dusted. B&B goes down, and it's going to be TTN that picks them up. They are now in the north, and nobody is going to be in the circle after this because everybody has got kill point goals.
Oh my goodness, Titans is actually popping off this game with 10 kills. Mastiff as well in hand, in a great position. See how that zone is pulling there? It's going to be pulling on the high ground. Cage just have LOS on them, so we'll have to see who ends up taking that south portion of the mountain, or they're going to have to fight CPT with, keep in mind, a team in the back lurking with the potential third party there on the edge of Storm.
CPT to the north, I think Dr. Magic has spotted out something. So, and it's going to be Axolotl. So, congratulations, you have this choke point, and now you're going to have your backs against the zone with no way to rotate out of this. And it looks like CPT is going to hear this, move in, and now it's all starting to kick off. Axolotl has to step away, trying to use just the walls for cover. My God, that was a massive amount of damage that just got dropped right on top of him. It's going to be Logie that got the knock with that, drops a nade right into position. Danny trying to make sure that they hold together on this one. Seeing if maybe they can defend their teammates, but high ground now surrendered. There is nowhere to go as Logie has goals, and those goals are to wipe Axolotl.
Yeah, they were almost able to manage to take down Curiosity, and they do right now. Danny with the great shots, but it is going to be a 2v1, and Axolotl will go down. It's a good thing that CPT have found them on the edge of the storm, because they were almost going to go into B&B, or in Titans, excuse me. They were going to get into Titans with this team lurking behind them, but now they've eliminated them. So if they do take this 3v3 with Titans, it should be clean for the most part. Carnage on the other side of the storm, still ratting, and there's only 5 squads left. Oh my goodness.
He has bought so many placement points. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
TTN has moved to the north, and looks like they're going to try to gatekeep out anything that CPT is going to be holding down. And Broly Gaming and the rest of his squad are just going to be chilling. They've got the last member of AOT inside the zone and about to be Carnage, but that's it. It's all about what's going to be going on in this fight in the north. TTN does get vision into CPT, and looks like they're trying to figure out if they can get enough damage off to make this push, because they want it to be aggressive. CPT, Dr. Magic already down Half-Life, is going to have to go for the bat right now, but it's going to be Curiosity who now finds himself just taking a massive amount of damage. CPT realizes the fact that there's going to be the zone back behind them, trying to bisect around this, trying to find a sneaky angle in, and is trying to get the shots into what's going to be going on with ETN, having to just juke around. That's going to be one member, and Dr. Magic going to be going down, but Curiosity still seeing what's going to be happening, trying to bounce around, moving and juking through every single bit of cover. CPT trying to hold the line, and does manage to take down Titans. Now can they get the res up the zone back behind them, as it is going to be Sydney Simmer and the rest of the team taking the choke point ahead of them, and another firefight is bound to happen in just a few seconds.
That was mind-blowing. They used the ash portal into the smoke. The other team did not expect it whatsoever, and Titans ended up getting eliminated. Now it's just a 3v3 with 2 solos left remaining. So this is the fight you want to win if you're Mortal Animosity.
See if maybe any of these solos realize the opportunity and opt into a third party. But it looks like Mortal Animosity does not want to overextend this welcome. Instead, moving back into the next zone. I will say Carnage saw that and instantly gets away from it. So I think that we do have a reherd that has positioned and might spot out some of these solos pretty soon.
Yeah, they have to be a lot quicker on that third party to be able to take advantage of that. Now that they got those red armor swaps and the gold armor swaps, it's going to be a really hard 3v3 to fight with double blues. So, bit unfortunate on their end, but if they can secure second place, that's 9 points. Just a reminder, first place is 12 points, and each kill is 1 point. Keep that in mind. So CPT have a lot of points on elimination alone, excluding placement, and a 1 clip on Reherd. Reherd goes down.
And you said it. I mean, it's just an equipment difference. What can you do? The aim is good, the vision is good, and now you can see the moral animosity who had control of the circle and was waiting for CPT is now going to find themselves in a ton of trouble. Looking down into this, it is just a ton of solos. Carnage manages to spot out something before he gets some damage thrown back at him. Just Lukey is down there with him, and that's going to be where most of these bullets are going to be going, trying to survive. Bro, the Gaming is alive. We got Dr. Magic right next to him, so can't even get involved. And it looks like CPT has realized, okay, it's solos and it's time to solo hunt. We're just going to try to start collecting heads down here, juking through, and finally, the menace that has Carnage has been stopped.
Yeah, well, third place, that's 7 points on the placement alone. They do not have ulti now for this fight, but the Mastiff, the R301 shots. I didn't even see half of this team get eliminated, and now they're all gone, dissipated. CPT is destroying the entire lobby in our game number 2.
That was a statement game, it felt like. The first game, they had some, I would say, some beneficiary of how they managed to navigate the circle. This time, it's just how they navigated popping heads everywhere around them. There was no circle benefits. There was no rotation benefits. It was just, hey, there's something happening, and we're going to go hunt it down for elimination points.
I've never seen that happen before, where Bangalore smokes the enemy team, and then Ash teleports into that smoke, and then a whole fight happens, and they won it. So that was really incredible to see. They were getting gate kept. They were on the, the bad end of the stick, and they made something happen out of it and won, overcome that, and killed the last squad and all of the riots. It was incredible for them.
Remember that whole listen to the IGL even if you don't know what the plan is or you don't think it's a good plan? Well, that's going to be a perfect showcase. Man, that was just a nuts game coming out for them. B&B, though, had themselves a strong game as well, as they were involved in a lot of the firefighting parallel as well. You can see it's recursive names that we saw from last time around, managing to pick up something, but I just still have to say I'm astounded by just the disdain North America seems to have for just being in the safe zone.
Yeah, they don't want anything to do with that end zone. They want fighting, they want kills, they want to show their dominance, and it's really what we saw with all of these teams. Titans as well, they had a massive amount of kills, at least 8, maybe even more. They survived quite a decent amount as well, so it's going to be a big game for them too.
Just the pickups coming into this one. Axolotl, this was where everything just got insane. You can see they got spotted out down to 1 instantly, and here you go. Just walk us through all of the crazy that's going on.
Yeah, they ended up getting caught out, and then CPT, take a look at this. They're in the fight, Titans in the smoke. He goes down, but CPT Logie, he clutches it up. He gets the thirst, he gets the armor swap, and kills the last one. Look at this. Look at those shots, beautiful. He doesn't even stop shooting. He's like, don't re-peek me, no problem, I'll get him. Once in a lifetime, this kind of thing happens where a team just gets a huge game, and for CPT, it happens more often.
My God, that is 25 kills. Are you kidding me?
Once in a lifetime, man. Once in a lifetime. You get a 30-pointer. You get it. Wait, so 25. Oh my.
That is
37 points? Yeah, that's a once in a lifetime game, and they made it happen. That's CPT, baby.
Holy shit. That's all I can say about
accuracy.
That. That is ridiculous. That is. Okay, so Dr. Magic, you didn't get as many kills last game, and you were providing some assists. This time around, you're like, no. It's my turn to go. Steps up, gets a phenomenal kill count that a whole team would be feasting for, or just salivating to try to get their hands on right now. As I don't even know, just 2 games into this, and I feel like, what, we're going to have a 2 to 3 times lead over what's going to be in second place?
Yeah, I don't know, but Dr. Magic is the definition of efficiency. 11 kills, under 1,000 damage, and just 59% accuracy. That's crazy. Take a look at that. 17-point lead over Titans, and Titans isn't even playing bad.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. Both teams now picking up 22 kills. Titans just kind of having a more split, I would say, a more even split in their kills, but 46 points by the second game. You should point out that B&B is tied up right now with Titanis. It's going to be behind them. Then we have a huge drop-off into another tie with Parallel and Axolotl. Then the usual suspects that we've been seeing, AOT, Mortal Animosity, Trash Can Association, CCS, and MKE. Round out our top 10. Reminders, top 4 are going to be walking away with cash, but top 10 get a chance to move on to the stage after this.
I think we've seen something a little bit similar last qualifiers, where during the qualifiers they're a lot more aggressive, and then once we get to that grand finals, aka the top 10 teams today will make the grand finals. Once we get to those grand finals, it won't be as aggressive in the first few games, and people will be taking every step of the way a lot more seriously. So I don't know if that's going to be the same case in Kings Canyon, though.
I just got to say, if you watch that game and you're motivated, this is the time to show that motivation. Remember, you can go to compete.playstation.com, sign up to compete in Apex Legends event, anything that is provided under the sun that PlayStation has. You can probably find some way to compete in. Let's be honest, you want to come over here, you want to hang out with us, you're watching games right now. We've had 2 bangers back to back, and I'm not gonna lie, I need a drink of water because my throat's going to be going at the way that North America is bringing this action. So give us just a few minutes, get everything set in the lobby, take a quick breather, make sure you stay tuned because you know you want to see if this kill count is going to continue. See you in a few. unrelenting 2 games have come out for CPT with probably the highest kill total that I have ever seen in a game. And I don't know, it just feels like there's no brakes on this train. It's gonna keep on rolling. We've got another 3 games to run through, girl. What do you even do to stop CPT at this stage?
Kill them off drop, maybe? When they don't have any guns, punch them out, figure out which one's landing by themselves. I don't know. That happened to me in ranked the other day, and it was kind of embarrassing.
Well, we'll have to see if the trend continues, as right now it is 100% win rate for CPT. And man, it has been a show. Let's not forget, though, we still have some solid performance coming out. I feel bad because while we do have CPT that's up here just rocking, Titans, or Titans, however you want to say it, B&B and Parallel, Axolotl, they're all doing some work in this one. Even AOT, it's just so hard to contend with everything that's going on with all the third and fourth parties.
Yeah, by the looks of the leaderboards, it's Titanis or B&B that end up taking one of the next wins. I don't know who does it first, but they're both very kill-heavy teams, so it seems like, or even Parallel, they've got a lot of kills as well. It's just really hard when CPT and Titanis are taking all of the kills.
That's B&B. I got to give it to them for finding their 17, as well as Parallel, because look back behind that. 4 kills is the highest afterwards. And you know, whenever we take a look from 11 to 12, there's not going to be anybody that can even come close to surmounting that because they don't have more than 6 points. So it's just find what you can find because it is so hard to come by points. Just finding a couple of placement points is enough to get you almost in the top 10 right now.
Once you're in this position in a tournament, you kind of start to lose your confidence, and it's really hard on you and your team. You're like, okay, what can we do? We're not bad players. We got into here. We got into the finals of the qualifiers. What can we pull out of our rabbit's hat? Is it our positioning? Do we need to start fighting earlier and get higher Evo shields? Because if you're ratting all game while Titanis or CPT or Parallel, or B&B, they're getting their Evo shields up because they're fighting consistently. Then you're 3 blues against 3 reds, and who really wins a fight like that? The team with the most confidence in all of the kills, or the team with the blues that decided not to third party fast enough and then ran away once they tagged someone on red armor? It's hard.
I mean, just they're coming in so reinforced, and that's out of everything, that's the largest problem on it. CPT is a squad that can shoot you down in gray armor, but are now coming in with the utmost loot just because they've had their pick of, I don't know, 20 people moving into this circle. So that is ludicrous to try to contend with. And we'll have to see if anybody can figure out how to stop the juggernaut, as we do have a couple of people that are vying for it. But right now, it feels like a sandwich fight, or maybe just making sure to catch them unaware, because even if you put their backs against the wall, they'll find a way out of it.
For sure. And that's what happened. You're exactly projecting on what just happened with that Bangler smoke and Ash TP. Is so beautiful. I want to see another situation like that happen again. And I want to see if maybe other teams, maybe pro teams will be watching this and they'll be like, that's actually a viable strategy. Maybe we could do something like that.
Innovation happens at this stage as teams are trying to climb. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody. Remember, give some love. If you're seeing this go on and you're like, dude, I love me some PlayStation Apex, this is the chance to tell some of your friends to tune in and just watch the show, because first 2 games, if anything, it's just going to get more wild from here. That's the way competitive Apex works. Now everybody needs just a couple of points, and they're going to be fighting tooth and nail for it. That means the fact that it's just going to get messier, and everybody's going to get drugged down in the mud.
Yeah, and just a reminder to the folks at home, top 10, they make a spot into our seasonal final, and as you stated earlier, 6 points, that's not impossible to do. That's riding until second place, or that's killing 2 teams and getting a top 10 to secure yourself a little bit higher than that. So it's not hard. You can do it. You just gotta figure out the strategy. In our last qualifiers, we had teams change up their composition to adapt to the playstyle of the lobby. Now this is completely different. We had teams switch from a more aggressive comp to a more passive comp. Now here we might need people to change from more passive to more aggressive to suit the style of the lobby.
I mean, maybe even there's a chance we're leaning into some defense. Do you think that might be enough try to bring out like some meat shields, throw down some bubbles, see if maybe you can relent some of this damage, or do you think that just the aggression is still going to win it at the end of the night?
That is an ideal landing
You're gonna need a
place.
good flow of things. You're gonna need to know which third parties to take or which third parties not to take. You're gonna need a scan legend, I feel like, on a map like this where you're like, oh, I don't want to get third partied, but I do want to go in. I feel like a scan legend is always really good. CPT, they're running crypto. What's more popular normally is a bloodhound or a seer. So the way that they're using this crypto, they're using them very well. It's not easy to play crypto in all of these open fields, pulling out your drone, being in a safe position. It's actually quite hard.
It requires so much communication in order to make it work. It's one of the, like, whenever you look at Bloodhound, it's just easier. Hey, footprints, let's go this way, guys. But then whenever you're dealing with like a drone that's going around that's scouting, it's so much more information that you have to relay because not everybody might be able to see what's going on because it's not as much in their face. And so you know that communication has got to be on point with what we're seeing from CPT. Are they going to be able to continue it as we're going to see another hard eastern shifted circle?
Yeah, and we've already got a fight again. Mr. Steelio KP. First one to go down. Feel a little bit bad for Mr. Steelio KP. Playing as a duo, unable to get a safe drop. Oh my goodness, Carnage getting the re-knock. That's really nice for them. Static trying to kill Carnage. Carnage grapples away. But he didn't get the thirst, so he's not going to be able to snag that point.
Yeah, now it's just a matter of sneaking away and finding it out as Carnage. I guess he's playing a stealth simulator while everybody else is playing Apex Legends. I do want to point out, hey, look, Curiosity and the rest of the crew are pretty close to this, and they ventured this way, but they're not going to overextend off it. It's just a matter of looting and getting prepared, as they've already managed to pick up something.
Yeah, there's so much area for teams to be able to loot in different positions. Team Static, a little bit of an issue for Leader, but Leader is in a safe spot. The thing is the zone's closing in very fast, and there's no heat shields in custom lobbies, therefore it's going to be hard to keep your teammate alive. They got to reconnect as fast as possible.
CPT looks like they might be just trying to get some more information on what's going on while also moving closer to Static. Carnage, I think, ran out and grabbed something, maybe meted, or I don't know, is eyeing coming back into this area where Static is going to be at. So we're going to find this to be a lot more surprising than I think that a couple of these guys are. Man, Mozambique scout life. You know, the fact that Carnage is living his best life, just trying to get away, already down to just health. Happened once. Can you sneak away? No, no! Falling back down the cliffside. Now going to just have to sneak in. Not too much they can do. Just going to have to go. Shots already going to connect, and the hero can't do it a second time. Is going to get spotted out, and it's going to be Curiosity that saw it.
I know, unfortunately. Hey, they're out early, but he's doing his best. We need for Carnage to find a safe spot to land, because landing on these teams isn't really working out well for them, and it'd be really nice to see them play it out as a duo at the end rather than a solo. So maybe they can create a plan this time instead.
All right, CPT's got control over the outside. They have a pretty good idea on where Static is positioned at now. So it's just a matter of the waiting game. It looks like Dr. Magic and Logie are going to be playing low, already getting the shots in. Logie does take some damage out of it, but not enough to discourage him from continuing the rampage that they're bringing and trying to make sure that they go ahead and finish that one out. Do manage to get that one. And now, while outside in the zone, it looks like they're going to eye over in that direction. Connects. Are they going to be able to get him? And God, that's just some aim.
Yeah, that's a really nice angle from Curiosity and good chasing from the rest of his team there. CPT, they've got 6 kill points already. Looking to be another big game if they can make it out of the storm. Now, one syringe isn't going to cut it. Are there any crafting stations nearby? I don't think so, but they're looting the boxes for the meds.
Yeah, this is going to be a race more against the zone than it is other teams right now, as there's nobody really around them to the north wrap. If they go to the south, there might be something going on there. Hey, you remember ADMP and Simmer and all that other stuff that was going on around Airbase last time? It's just shifted further south, and looks like it might happen yet again.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to survive this. I don't think Curiosity really has much up his sleeve. Logie doesn't look like he's healing at all. I'm a little bit worried for CPT, and I'm wondering, do they die to Storm here in this game?
Yeah, gonna have to keep an eye out on that on the kill feed, but B&B is doing their own level of harassment down in the southwest, and this is just more cyberbullying that's starting to develop over here as Broly is just trying to get away, full-on B&B chasing after. His zone is just nothing that anybody's really scared of right now, as yet again, just near on nobody inside the safe zone.
No, they're not in the safe zone, but they do have a crafting station, at least in case they do tank the storm, but it looks like they're going to be able to outrun it anyways, so they're going to opt for that instead, and they're going to get some guild points if they can land these shots. The crack comes through, and Mortal Animosity has been eliminated.
I swear, sometimes some of these teams just name tongue twisters for us just to mess us up. Animosity, not the easiest thing to roll off the tongue. TTN, though, finding themselves with some friends nearby and are just kind of watching this. This is going to be in the labs area as they have AOT, as these two teams end up fairly close to each other pretty regularly in these first 3 rounds. There is going to be 2 other teams to the east of this, but there are a couple of cliff walls that are going to divide that out. And then down in Hydra Dam, there's going to be another team. So we might see that one team run into the 2 that are playing in swamps. But it's all on the pathing right now. It's anybody's guess, as there are a lot of edge fights that are going to be happening potentially in the northwest and then just due up in the east.
Yeah, Titanus, they're scouting here at labs, but they're on the low ground. They do have the gravity lift in case they want to go and surprise the team, but for now, they're just scouting it out. 12 squads remaining, MKE on the edge of Storm. It looks like they've got R-Stars out ready to pounce and throw at a team, but no shots coming out yet. Yep, one clipping a Pathfinder, nothing new.
Oh, I can hear it in your voice. It just hurts to see it as it happens. MKE is going to have a just beautiful gatekeeping position onto this one. Not a lot that's going to be able to happen on the other side of this, so a retreat's going to come around, and that could put, I believe, Gunna around where we could see CPT, who are all still alive, even though they're having to limp their way into the zone, or it might put him over next to your boy Mick, as Thanos is going to continue this chase in, and what's going on to the north, as they have spotted out AOT, who is just trying to run for the horizon.
I have no biases for these teams, but I do have a little bit of love for Pathfinder left. It is slowly dissipating, though. I don't know how much longer I can support my boy Pathfinder. He's just a big refrigerator, getting one clipped all of the time. Unfortunate for him. Regretful in the kill feed, taking down TTV and JL222. Yep, got it.
Just making the flank around. It's smooth, could come up back behind them, but you can see that, I mean, TTN just has a directed beat onto this. Your boy Mick, as well as ADMP. We have actually about 3 to 4 teams that are all converging into this area now, as those teams that were fighting into the west might be pushing into this as well. They hear the firefights, so a couple of preps where we're going to see some stops before they jump into it. Might be before we see just a continued push. TTN's going to go up onto this, but it's going to be just more to the west, so I think that we might see this one stop out.
Did you see that last shot with the scout? Oh my goodness, this Wraith Portal 4 recovery. Oh, just a little bit out of reach. Just Lukey going down. Looks like it's a 3v2. They're trying to stop them from pushing up. They're going up the stairs. They should have a good angle up those stairs. It is going to be hard for them to push, but it still is one man up on this team. Just Lukey gets eliminated. The gold armor gets touched up. Mac with the scan. He's going to go forward with that scan, but he's getting burnt, and they're going to just take the portal out of there.
Yeah, at this point, it's starting to not be worth the cost because they know the fact that they can get kills probably faster in other ways. So, going to relent out of that one as AOT is going to find a different way to go. And hey, CPT finally gets into the safe zone. The med situation does manage to survive them all the way through it.
I was a little bit worried for them, but, you know, they made some magic happen there. Pulled some syringes out of a hat, and they're here. 11 squads remaining. They don't want to tank this other storm, so they're running directly into zone, but they gotta check their left, they gotta check the right, make sure they don't get gate kept here, or ratted on even.
Yeah, they have a full team to the west that's going to be moving in front of them, as Ramrod is going to be to the north of BNB. That's going to be just to the south of them. BG here is what's going on, and remember where we saw Shadow Wolf and Gunna a second ago, they're along a similar pathing into this with your boy Mick and his teammate holding this through. So Ramrod now taking some damage out. This has got to be careful, as I believe it's BG that spotted it out. And while CPT did get, I guess, a taste of not having to deal with the storm, they are going to have to continue their way down to the east, as they are also back outside the zone yet again.
Yeah, and there's just a fight right ahead of them, so they're going to try and go around the fight.
My Lord.
Not even participate, not even third party. They just want to live as of now. They don't know what's going on. Actually, they're taking a huge detour around the storm as well. So it'll only be these two teams, BG and BNB, I believe.
Well, it's going to be popping off over here as Pizza Planet does have themselves a defensive line that they are trying to hold. Keep in mind, they do have Shadow Wolf and Gunna that is kind of close and might opt into a firefight with them. Right down below this, you can see it's going to be ADP and the rest of BNB just trying to hold themselves together. The zone is going to be just, I guess, a couple of meters in front of this one, so it's going to make it more complicated. Pizza Planet does not want to hold. I like this. Don't overcommit. And they're going to go to the south along that same path that we just saw CPT go to, as well as Danny G and his entire squad just moving north out of the cage. Should be bumping into each other any given moment, as I believe that's going to be Axolotl that's going to be over there.
And here we go, Massive already. Oh no, the crack comes in with the grenade, but Zerg not looking good right now. He gets some shots off Flesh. I believe there's an armor swap down there. Raptor with the scout and the car. Very nice combo. A lot of players have been using this. He's undercover, healing up, taking angles, and another team comes in.
Got to shift away, and the party is now going to get more vicious. Raptor, Danny trying to navigate this. CPT doesn't want to go through that choke point, so just going to continue wrapping around. We do have BNB that's heard what's going on, and it's coming in from the north. So while we had Danny G that was trying to escape that direction, we're going to have a new set of contenders coming into this, and it looks like Pizza Planet is going to continue to wrap to the south. CPT is already ahead of this, so shouldn't get sightlines on each other, and just a whole bunch of near misses on these squads. I would say by like a second or two.
Yeah, really. And they're not going to be scanning anyone just yet. Swampy having it on cooldown. BNB wrapping around. They do have Bangalore's ultimate intact if they do want to gatekeep or find anyone to gatekeep. They have to make sure they're watching all of their angles. They're a little bit split up though, which worries me.
Yeah, now just separating away from this. Looks like they're trying to eye circle control, but Awape doesn't want to go too much further forward because he realizes that Pizza Planet is going to be behind him. They're getting more information, just kind of waiting this one through. Looks like they might circle around, but hey, guess what? You remember good old TNT?
Yep.
Mac's over here, and here's what's going on, and almost went this direction, but I think spotted out something and instantly turned around.
Well, you don't want to be fighting BNB right now because they are the kill leaders. They've got mostly everything, and Titanus down to 1. So he's looking around. He's found a safe spot on edge. And it's really nice to be riding as a seer because you know exactly if you're walking into a team or walking into a safe position on edge. So that's what Max got, as it looks like he's looking for a rat spot to play, and Moyai is right behind him.
Oh, hey, well, we're getting some aggression back behind all of this as B&B are starting to get some shots thrown into their back. Now having to be more careful with this one. I think that CPT finally got their loot situation better off and are now also looking this direction. I can't tell, but I think that there's a drone out as well. So now looking through, AOT is going to be playing the north, as there's just going to be Danny GC that's going to be around him, as well as his partner up in crime right. It's just going to be playing around the pitfall area, and I think that, again, people hear what's going on, they're taking some shots, but it's really just going to be about trying to reposition through. Titanus does finally get their last member spotted, and now a calm settles before everybody goes through the choke points and the next set of firefights begins.
Yeah, AOT managed to survive as a duo in parallel. They're still in it with a few kills. 7 squads, 17 remaining. Regretful though. Woo! ended up shooting Regretful in the back. They've got to be careful here. Crypto EMP coming through. Very nice break by, just a little something. So the other team's not going to be able to push up. And if they do, little something has a digi-threat.
I think that was CPT that threw that out as they were trying to push this direction and now have wrapped out. They've gone on the opposite side of the cliff facing in that choke point that we're looking at, and Dr. Magid is now wrapped to the north. And I think that that is getting red as well. Looks like CPT is going to be coming through this path right as soon as Parallel repositions for it. Parallel does find some cover to work with and has a good spray angle, tons of vision, tons of information. And while CPT has done a great job on surviving, they are now finding themselves absolutely getting demolished by Parallel, who is just trying to pounce on this. They realize they've got the opportunity and are trying their hardest to take it. Smokestail coming out, buying some more with this, but you can see Parallel, they just walked through CPT and finishes that one out fast. Now, opening the doors from the leaderboard.
Really are indeed. BNB, though, they're also taking out a squad at the same time, and now there's only 3 squads remaining. 2 trios and a duo. AOT seems to have a decent position, but if spotted out, they might end up getting targeted. Parallel on Edge of Storm, healing up. Nobody wants to take the first fight as they know they're going to get 3P'd. But it looks like everyone's fighting for the high ground over here in the buildings.
Yeah, BNB did get inside what's going to be the next circle and is trying to keep out Parallel. Parallel's doing a good job on navigating it right now. Very equipped, so just trying to make sure that they take this slow and steady, feeling no rushes right now. But as this is going on, it's letting AOT sneak in on the north of this, not taking any shots, but they might lean in and taking some shots to the backside of BNB, depending on how much longer this goes. No big drops happening yet means the fact that they have not decided to pounce. They want to see at least one knock in the kill feed before they decide to third party this one, but BNB is just getting closer and closer, now having stepped right up into a line of aggression, leaving the safe zone and wanting to make sure that they do not let Parallel into this. Parallel now having to step back down to the south. They were trying to brute force their way through this, but cannot find the angle anymore due to BNB's reposition.
Yeah, BNB did a great job, and both teams, in fact, have Bangalore, so one ultimate did go down, but there is still one remaining. Parallel, I think, have one last chance to push through or do something, and AOT, they haven't been spotted until now. Now they're going to try and force the other 2 teams to fight each other. As long as AOT can hold their position, they might be able to even win this game.
Parallel is trying to slow this down. I want to point out that Regretful has moved very far to the north and is trying to get a new line or bead into what's going on with BNB. As the push coming through, you can see just a little something taking a lot more than a little something of damage. Having to move away from it. Regretful already getting spotted out as well, so it's just going to be Tech that is still up and feeling strong. Regretful finally gets the shield back up just in time as health was starting to dip back down. BNB still controlling the circle as just a little something is going to go down, and this is a strong BNB. Still shields up, just looking through, taking shots and everything that's rotating around them, and there are so few options for the opposite side to work with. Parallel cannot find a way to breach into this any more than what they've got. AOT still playing in the north, can't spot out anything either.
Oh my goodness, it's coming down to the wire. Bolt coming in, they're trying to get the thirst here. They do get a little something. They do get the thirst on Regretful. There's only one remaining on them. AOT, they just want to try and secure the second place before they end up getting targeted and Tech ends up stealing that placement from them.
Tech now hiding in the low ground, hoping the fact that the shade of the bullets will cover him. As AOT and BNB are taking shots across each other. BNB is closer to the center of the circle than where we see AOT at the time, so AOT with their 2. Looks like they know where Tech is, but that's a sneaky little spot for him to be hiding at that blocks him out from both teams, as ADP looks like they might want to try to finish this one out, as every single kill for BNB is going to be important because they're not just playing this game, they're playing against CPT's last game. AOT looks like they're finally going to make a more aggressive move into this, realizing what's going to be going on. Owner's taking a ton of damage, and this Moyai does get down in here and switches out into this spot. Owner comes in back behind this one. You can see now it's going to be BNB playing more aggressive, playing the opposite side of the wall. This is just a dance around, trying to spot each other out. And you can see AOT trying to push into it, trying to connect with the shotgun blast. Now making the switch back over. The spray is going to be connecting, but he's going to go down. Owner's got no life, steps in, and BNB takes the round.
All right, That was a really good effort. Unfortunately, those PK shots, they were hitting for 918. It was all through the smoke. It was so incredibly hard to do something in that position. It was a 2v2, but they were so worried about the revive as well. And BNP played it just so incredibly well.
Picked up, I would say, a pretty decent amount of kills as we saw them roaming quite a bit. If anything, our leaderboard, I guess first place right now in CPT, found themselves taking more damage probably from the zone than anything else. That was a trek just to try to find some type of safety at the end of the day, and they managed to get picked up off of it. That means that the leaderboard is now more open, and finally there is a chance. Do you think that B&B got enough to make it competitive?
Yeah, I think so. I think enough to make it competitive for sure.
Drew, we are starting to try to prep up for game number 4, but you can see there's just so much going on. My God, Chris, that spray was just dirty catching it.
It really was. Hard to play on this low ground, but they did a great job hitting those shots, pushing that team off of them. Unfortunately, they did lose 2 going over that ridge. Look at that. That was insane and incredible, and they pushed off of it, and they were able to secure that Just Lukey's kill. But AOT ended up surviving and managing to place second, outplacing Titanus.
Looking through, as you can see, TTN is having to go all around trying to hunt down what's going to be going on and just trying to get some more kills. And I feel like that's the theme that CPT has set. You just can't win. You've got to win big. The downside to that is whenever you lose, sometimes you can also lose big, as CPT just never managed to find their footing inside. This would parallel being able to take them down, and it was just all around this ending location. This is such a complicated area to play if you look at it, between the trees, the dip, where we saw like just so many walls and small locations that you have to play around. It just was such a hard area to maneuver in.
It really was. And then with this ultimate here, they knew exactly where the enemy was, right? So it's just so hard to fight in the smoke when the Seer team has complete advantage over you and can see exactly where you are. And this is the outcome of all of that.
19 kills? What is even going on? B&B stepping up big. Die Nasty is going to be killing Nasty with 11 kills out of that one. ADMP was doing a great job on making sure to get everybody around, because you can see 2,180 damage and only 1 kill. Somebody was taking last shots on those.
It's all a team effort. It's all a team effort. And honestly, Horizon is the opener, right? She does the opening damage. Yeah. She's all the way up there in the sky being like, oh, he's won, he's won. And then that's where Wolf and Dynasty get on their ground, get running forward, and end up finishing them off. It was really well played by BNB, and I think you're right. I think after winning game number 3, BNB has a shot.
I mean, with that amount of kills, yep, the chase, I feel, is about to be on. Let's see this overall leaderboard, and there you go!
Oh,
steps up and surpasses. CPT didn't manage to get too many kills inside that game, so now 4 points behind. Titanus has a big drop down behind that. What, 24 points they've got to take up. Parallel just going to be 4 points behind them, and AOT just 5 points behind that.
To be honest, I did not expect them to actually surpass CPT. No,
same.
That is crazy. That is insane. I'm loving this tournament already. Titanus, you know, maybe they're gonna have the next big game. Maybe they're gonna have the 4th dub out of the 5 games we have playing. There's just so much to unfold and unravel today.
I mean, you can see that CPT went for some early kills. They heard something. They were trying to third party into the firefight where Carnage was trying to survive through, and they did pick up a couple of kills from that, but the cost ending up being so much time denied them getting very many more kills after that and very many more placement points as well. B&B harvested that opportunity and just picked up a massive amount of kills, climbed up this leaderboard, and now what I thought was just about to be a closed door just became a 2-horse race.
Yeah, and it could be a 3-horse race if Titanus does have a really big game this time around, which is possible, but it all really depends. And now these 11 through 18 teams, they are just trying to make it to top 10. They're just trying to make a spot in their seasonal final, or they're just trying to pick up something and learn from their experience here in the tournament today.
We're in the process of getting a lobby number 4 prepped, so I just want to take a second and say thank you to everybody for tuning in. Yet again, I know I've been saying it a whole bunch. Make sure to give some love, try to get some more people involved, because, you know, this has been a show. These players are putting up some hellacious games. I can't remember the last time I've seen kill counts stacked back to back to back like this before.
Yeah, that's true. There has been dominant teams, but not like this dominant, not with this many kills. So that's really exciting to see. But as the time goes on and qualifiers go on, I feel like it'll happen less and less because people will start adapting. People will start like realizing what's coming and be able to like counter the attacks.
Yeah, there's something that happens as like this group plays together more. They're going to understand what each team, how they play around. So when they get a knock, they're going to understand what's probably going to happen next. There is a whole meta game of comp that's not just, hey, play the circle, play your own way, but also, okay, now we know how these guys play, what they're trying to accomplish, and how to navigate that. It's a very complicated math equation whenever you look at how to play Apex Legends.
Yeah, for sure. There's just so much that goes into it, and not everything you can account for or be prepared for, because you might be playing by the book, or you might have watched some pro players and try and do everything step by step, but every game is different. Every game is unique, and there's only so much you can do, and sometimes you can't overthink it. Sometimes your play was good, but you just got outgunned, right? Sometimes you were in a great position, but you got pushed by a team with triple red armors and there was no one around, and you thought people would be like shooting them and no one was shooting them. Like, there's just so many different varieties of situations that could occur.
And then you can even time in like ult timings, stuff like that. All of those things are important. There's sometimes you'll just lose a firefight because other people just are set and ready to go with their ultimates and can drop them on top of you as you just got done with the firefight. You don't have it. And it's just so complicated to look at all of the variables in this. But that said, whenever you take all of those variables and you're walking away with 19 kill games, when you're walking away with 25 kill games, that means the fact that somehow you figured out how to mitigate those variables and make sure to find your secrets to success.
Yeah, and if you can't find a fight early on, maybe you need to land somewhere with crafting so that you could craft your way to blues and purples so you could have a good start. Because if you're ending up fighting triple purple with triple white, it's not going to be good for you. So maybe you're going to have to tank that zone damage and try and pull yourself up to their level so that way you can have more of a fair 3v3.
And I got to say, at this point, guys, girls, the center of the circle has places you can drop, and doesn't mean the fact that you have to rotate as far. While yes, it does mean the fact that you might not get as many kill points, some of you aren't getting those elimination points and are instead being harvested. Maybe drop center and see if you can get some survival points and prep, get some better loot, and then take the fights.
Yeah, for sure. And here we go into our second last game of the day. This is exciting. Now we're going to after this game, we're going to tell who is able to get first, who's able to make it into our top 4 for the prizes, and who's going to make it into our top 10 for the seasonal final. We'll have a closer look at that after this game. But who is going to dominate this lobby? That's the real question here today.
I mean, if the tennis manages to get this and pull off something big, I don't even know anymore. Like, this has just been an absolutely nuts day. Like, bad enough that I was even joking a second ago. I had the producer tell me the fact that, oh, hey, yeah, we caught you cussing on there. So if I end up fined, worth it, man, worth it. Today's action was entirely for the peak of everything it's going through. I'm still just looking through. Are we seeing a Caustic come into play down there?
Yeah, we are seeing Caustic paired with a Horizon, and we have Titanes with the Pathfinder, which is really cool to see.
All right, now dropship is up. What is the pathing going to look like? It's pretty much south all the way to the north. Artillery is our heavy loot location, and let's see if anybody makes some modifications, as there are a lot of early jumpers.
Okay, take a look at the zone. It's going down towards Relic. I love Relic. This is one of my favorite places to fight in. And we're going to be able to see an end zone there. There's so many buildings. There's the high ground as well to be able to play. It's great.
I feel so bad. We saw so many people dropping in airbase, dropping on runoff, and now that the circle finally goes to the west, nobody goes there. that one hurts. We do have two teams that look like they're going to drop on top of each other for Relic, and I think that one of them is B&B.
Yeah, this is giving me like game 1 vibes of EU. This is where everyone kind of landed on, but actually this is major. This is insane. This is crazy, the amount of teams that are on top of each other on the east side compared to the west side. There's no one Gauntlet, no one Airbase, no one Runoff, no one Pit, no one Containment, no one Crash Site, no one Market, no one Cage, no one Capacitor. What is going on?
Apparently, it's East Coast times. I don't know. Maybe it's too early for our West Coast players to come up, so they just got a natural bias leaning that way. The circles did lean that way, so maybe they were tired of chasing the circles and got baited.
Oh no, now it's the complete reverse. Now everybody has to chase that circle. We're dying inside this storm. We've already seen 3 teams eliminated thus far.
Yep, B&B do get control over Relic, so already picking up some kills. That's going to feel pretty good for them. CPT is going to probably make a play into static, so that's one of the reasons we're keeping an eye on them. That's just been the nature of how this goes over here. I don't see a Carnage around anywhere. Oh, Trash Can already got taken out. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Boo! And Axolotl was eliminated as well. That's Parallel. Picking up some kill points. 3 off the bat. It's a map room. 3v3. Parallel is doing a great job holding this area from beginning to end. And they have crafting whilst also having that huge scan. And they're going to be able to see, once they hit that scan, they're going to be like, what happened? And why is there no one in end zone?
MKE looking down and got them a Sentinel, and that's going to make rotating harder for the other squad. I believe it's going to be TTN that's playing over there, as that's just going to be too much damage, so Lucid has to step away from it. Now, hey, that's just a nice reversal onto it. It's TTN now hunting down the earlier aggressors that were trying to hold them out, and looks like they've managed to go ahead and flush out the last bit. Don't be overzealous. Titanus
taking out Lucid. I know exactly how Lucid feels. You're trying to land a Sentinel shot because you know Sentinel's not an easy gun to use, but you're standing still for so long that you just get shot and shot and shot and then push. So it looks like they're giving up. That shot just stood there. Yeah, they know too. They know Titanus is there. They know Titanus is looking at them. They're just like, hey, maybe we'll just take the L.
I mean, there were only 2 more squads in front of them to just try to make it to the zone, bare minimum, maybe 3. Yeah. Okay, so I have a question for you. B&B, who have been having a great set of plays, they've been trying to fight at the top of the leaderboard, as we're going to watch this couple of dings come in. They've got Relic, and they've got control over the circle, but they're not going to be able to get the kills. Do they move for it, or do they keep circle control?
Oh, that's hard, right? I know a lot of teams that are very aggressive and very good at fighting. If they don't fight off the bat, they're not going to have that momentum for late game, and they're not going to have the utilities. Love it, though. Oh my goodness, the Arcstar. We'll get back to that in a second. Nice shots coming in from them. Last one remaining underneath. Can he get the knock before going down? He's going for the punch. He gets it. Ramrod 2 was eliminated. Are they getting thirded?
Eliminate with a punch. Now looking in back behind Titanus. Yep, they're going to have to find themselves careful, as this is just going to be a continual party. Dual Academies looking into what's going to be happening over here as well. Sly Beast and the rest of the Slies are all going to be trying to figure out how they're going to maneuver around what's going to be going on. Titanus doesn't look like they've managed to make a play to the east, but AOT as well as Dead Out Killer, the rest of them, there's 3 teams stacked to the south on labs.
Yeah, and it looks like Mac also gets eliminated, so there's only 1 left on Titanus. Alive, they're using Labs Portal to get into the zone, which is very, very smart. If you're ever in Labs and you don't want to walk your way, just take that portal. It takes you really far. I think even further than a Valkyrie ultimate, so smart decision from them. This team, Mortal Animosity, they have Loba, so they won't have a hard time finding loot, but they will have a hard time traveling the map. They don't have any of that mobility. Well, actually, they have Pathfinder Zipline, but who really takes those?
Well, they're contemplating whatever they can get right now. Moving forward off of this, they are going to be one of the leaders in this. As they're moving forward, they have to be careful because CCS is in front of them. And with this cliff wall to the south of them, that means the fact that there is really no way they can avoid the CCS. I think spotted out one of the jumps a moment ago, but that means the fact that both sides have now spotted each other. Issue is the zone's going to be coming back behind them, and let's not forget that AOT is also on a similar path with this. Sly Beast and the rest of all of the Sly Beasts up there are going to have to be making some type of play into this. So now Mortal Animosity has to reposition back to the south, and AOT might see that.
Yeah, and might be able to get some kills off of this. They're going in for the scan. They don't see anyone just yet, so they're going to be moving on in, trying to outrun it. They can barely outrun it. Cindy's like on the verge. Inside, outside, inside, outside. 12 squads remaining. Broly stops to heal and then is back inside the store, outside the store. Just a little battle, but they didn't have to go too far.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to matter too much in the northeast as everybody is converging at the same time. Mortal Animosity is just trying to run from this angle as they're going to be trying to get away from that one. CCS is going to be coming in back behind them. I believe whenever we're looking through that, back behind them is going to be Duel Academy's Finest. And then maybe Reheard, I think, is going to wrap around in a different angle. Duel Academy's got the high ground and is just trying to connect, waiting, being patient. Oh, close.
Yeah, really nice shots. The repeater got a knock here for them. And we've got 3 shots left in our sniper. We're running double sniper now. That's a very bold thing to do, because then you don't really only have one close range weapon unless you hit your sentinel shot.
I mean, if you just need a couple of KP, I mean, this could be the way you get it. I do want to point out that B&B did move to the west, and that means the fact that, hey, guess what? They found some friends. Then they found a lot of friends. And then they're about to find even more friends, because you can see, it's just the east and the west whenever you look at the map. Everybody is stacking up on top of each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if we only see about 3 teams limping into this circle. 3 amigos just trying to run out of this as they were trying to push in from the east and realize the fact that this is going to be way hotter than they were expecting it to be.
Yeah, I'm not sure it truly has ultimate, but they might just need to use that for rotation. It's just so hard to rotate on your feet in King's Canyon unless there's a team fighting and you know you can just walk there for free. Sly Beast Elmo doing a great job with the 30 repeater. Continuously taking out Dead Out.
What? Just jumps up right into Duel Academy's Finest face while there's 3 Sly Beasts up there. Is that death by Duel Academy? Is that just pretty much what was going on, trying to get away from the mess of everywhere else?
Well, sometimes you just gotta take the shots and take the L, go next, I guess.
There is some logic in also trying to figure out where your KPs should go if you're in a circle like this and you're about to die. If you realize the fact that somebody that is close to you on the leaderboard, whenever it's compacted as it is, feeding out 1 kill to a team that might not be chasing you could be useful. But we'll have to see how that ends up all being, as we're going to be continually pressed down into Relic. And I do want to also point out that CPT has managed to make it into the zone. And it's really them, it's Smooth, and B&B right on the outskirts of it.
Okay, well, that's good news for every CPT fan. And in the chat, if you're a CPT fan, make sure you shout them out in chat, show your love. But yeah, they're on triple purples. They seem to be doing fine. Our 3-1 PK, great close range combo to be had. Love the 2 to 4x on the 301. I feel like it's just a recipe for a laser beam. Do we look up or do we look down in front of us?
Well, look, no matter where you look, it's going to be smoke. So CPT going to try to wrap through this. And it looks like they're going to try to get around the entirety of this angle over here and wrap back down into that mess that was going on in the east. I feel like this is the hunt for kill points, trying to find those eliminations as they're going to continue to smoke off. They do have B&B that's going to be coming back behind them, but we also do have CCS that's going to be over here, as we still have 3 teams that are going to be playing around the market area.
Okay, well, we still have 10 squads left, which is pretty surprising after seeing all of the squads fight off drop. But Market is maybe one of my least favorite spots to fight in KC. I don't know, after they removed that other choke and added this new choke, and it's really big, it's so hard to fight on top of Market, I feel.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Market used to be kind of fun but painful. Now it just hurts, it feels like, whenever I go there. Dual Academy is making their moves as they are very far into the north, and you can see that it's going to be City Simmer that is trying to survive out in the zone. And, you know, all of those, like, I guess, bolt-action sniper rifles are going to have some benefit. Are they going to be able to get enough damage to knock him? As it looks like, yep. It's just going to be a continued path, and City Simmer can no longer go that way.
No, and they might be running out of meds as well. This is hurting a lot. They're trying to make it in, but Dual Academies, they're not going to let that happen. One knock, and I think one remaining.
While this is going on, guess what? B&B hears a sound, and the sound is gunfire. And while you're harassing, trying to make sure that nobody can come into the zone, B&B says, hey, you're up against the zone wall too.
This is not going to be looking good for Dual Academy here. B&B, nice beams with the R301, forcing them to go into the right side. Slybee Selmo going down. It's going to be a 3v2 situation with one rat on the back end of things, and Dual Academies was eliminated. Now, will they spot the rat? They have 35 seconds. They're going to be looting this rat. City Simmer will have to move in, and City might be smiling a little bit, knowing that their enemies did die, but Die Nasty, they know.
They know. They were shooting at somebody, and I have no idea what the Dual Academy's dress code is, but I'm pretty sure it's not having your pants down, so they're going to go ahead and get spotted out and get eliminated, and not even be able to get City Simmer because they're going to hand that one over as well.
Yeah, so that's quite a pickup for B&B. 4 kill points and a couple more placement. Clearing the back as well, so they know no one will be coming from this side whatsoever. And they have those 2 small buildings to play as long as no one has taken them while they were away on vacation.
All right, back into AOT, who's trying to make some moves around. You can see the fact that they're down in that southeastern area where we've got Tech, Regretful, and just a little something wanting to make sure that they take out Owner, the very last member up for his squad. He's got the wall back behind him, trying to rotate. Can he get the jump? The hillside might make him profile down to near on no life. Got to jump the wall and try to make some slides, but I think it might be time for them to relent on the chase. They know where he went, but now you can just kind of cut him off and gatekeep him out.
Oh my goodness. Are we going to pop a shield battery soon?
Yep.
Nope. You're right. Regretful found himself a KP and kill leader along with that. So 5 kills for Regretful. CPT more along in the center of Relic. Spotted a Rampage. Don't know if anyone's going to pick that one up. Normally in my lobbies, nobody picks up the Rampage. Even though it's a care package weapon. Only comes with 1 thermite. So.
Looking through, I want to point out that CPT is the only team that's inside the zone. They have a couple of friends right on the edge of the zone, but I want to point out that B&B was being aggressed in this, and now are going to have Parallel coming up back behind them. So B&B has to run for the hills, quite literally, but it's going to be a continued chase. On the opposite side of this, you can see that CPT is still trying to gatekeep out Truly Chewy and the rest of the team, as they are still sitting pretty healthy right now, as it looks like that's just a cook box in there, and nobody can really get out of it.
I love that Maggie ball coming in from the opposing team. Stunts all 3 of CPT, slowing them down even further. That's why I really love Maggie in those buildings, those long but, you know, thin buildings, because she works so well with her abilities there. Parallel, on the other hand, just a little something ended up going down to Die Nasty, leaving them as a duo. Still kill leader, though.
I really like this, managing to recoup the losses in the chase. ADMP and Die Nasty shifted to the north, and now it's just become a juke around these 2 different choke points. Parallel has shifted more to the west, but it looks like Die Nasty got some damage in and is going to use that opportunity to start making the push in on the opposite side of this. Meanwhile, CPT is still holding down that fight that's going to be going to the south, so it's potentially gate kept out. This is its own contained firefight, which has not been a thing that's been happening too much today. Parallel realizing they're on the bad end of it. Regretful jumps away, still just trying to get that bat off. But it's going to be the rest of B&B trying to make their move forward. But B&B has got to be careful. CPT heard this and is starting to come back behind him. Curiosity's got a backflip flank that is going to be something truly nasty, as Dynasty is going to find themselves in a bad spot. Parallels on the other side, taking some shots, and suddenly there is nowhere to go. B&B is just trying to run for the hills. Dynasty does manage to get away, but CPT now finds themselves a new target. ADMP finds an angle to play from, and Parallel suddenly finds themselves in a desperate situation and just trying to get away. Tech now back against the wall as CPT is continuing to strangle him down, finally going to take him out, and now it's all about the move to the next circle.
ADMP ended up surviving that though, so continuing to get some placement points. Logie not looking good right there on that rock. The smoke might save him down to 1 HP. Your boy Mick, can you get the last shot? No, you can't. ADMP trying to though, but it is too late. The shield battery has been popped.
And some massive turn of events. CPT is the only team that's not inside the safe zone. I want to say that. It looks like B&B has stepped away from it and now trying to flank back behind CPT. But CPT realizes the fact that they can assault on a different angle. So now it is a wrap into a wrap and a chase that's going to be going on. As CPT is trying to eye what's going to be going on in front of them, and it's going to be B&B coming up back behind them. Those shots going to reveal them out. Now already going to take some bullets, and that's going to slow down this push. Really, this is, again, its own contained fight to the north. Nobody wrapping just yet. But that means the fact that CPT has some strength that they're trying to exert, and I wouldn't be surprised if B&B might try to go for a sneaky angle into this. The crate does draw the attention, and looks like they're just going to go ahead and eject themselves out of that fight, not wanting to continue.
They wanted to. They really wanted to hurt CPT there, but oh my goodness, this might bounce back on them as they just ended up getting Ash ulted on, and now they're above their heads. They're doing the spotline shots, not able to do as much as he wanted, but he's surviving, and that's what really matters in a top 5 situation like this. Curiosity hitting for flesh, but also getting both from an angle. He's just not in a great position. He's in the open with not very much cover. He has these truck wheels to hide behind, but he has to get to his teammates.
This got to be a lot more violent than I think that CPT was expecting. With the exchange of firefight, your boy Mick also did move out, got some damage in. ADMP looks like he's going to be moving in a path around your boy Mick, who doesn't take shots. OCW has been kind of contently holding down the zone right now, seeing if anybody's going to be making a move to it. And out of the 9 alive, they are 3 of them. Get some shots into what's going to be going on with CPT trying to move forward. They've spotted out ADMP, and it looks like that's going to be a press after it. Curiosity trying to hunt them down, but it's going to be OCW that's going to have the high ground vision in all of this. How is CPT going to respond? And is ADMP going to get away from this?
I don't know. I was wondering, how is ADMP even alive? B&B have themselves a professional rat. CPT looking for this rat as much as they can. Curiosity is very curious to know where he went. Did he end up dying? I don't see him on
he's just below us. You can see that it's going to be right in between. Okay. If we pan out some more, that's where ADMP is going to be hiding right at the edge of the zone, I'm pretty certain. Now, Static is on the opposite side of this one, and now moving forward, it's going to be about how we see these 2 3-man squads line up against each other.
Yeah, really. CPT on the low end. Oh, okay, there he is. He wasn't on our map. Logie taking a lot of damage. ADMP fighting and fighting and fighting. Does not want to give up, but B&B was eliminated in 4th place. Now we've got a trio, and a solo. We've got one of our strong solos eliminated, but we still have 1 more left in this game that could potentially take a 2nd place home and 9 points with that.
Remember, Static has been being bullied by CPT as their drop spots are pretty close to each other, so Static managing to make it into the late game is going to be massive for them, as points have been something that they have just been trying to find. Even 3rd place would be great, but if he can counter move around this, he might be able to sneak out a 2nd place. The problem with it is he's finding himself pretty sandwiched as everybody's going to be moving around. He decides to take some shots into CPT, maybe trying to get some vision off of it, maybe get some vengeance as well. Leader just trying to cling to life as the zone's going to be coming in, and so few options for him to work around. Instead, going to take to the air, going to get some more out of it and maybe turn this game around. CPT's trying to hold it together. Spray is going to come out, and yes, Leader is going to get the down onto Curiosity. Smooth also takes out Dr. Magic on the other side, and CPT finds themselves being picked apart, picks up the point. Now Leader has got to be careful as he is just getting hounded and charged.
That punch right into Storm. He just showed a little bit of dominance there, but now it's Logie against the world. Logie trying to do as much as he can, but he goes down. OCW taking the high ground, taking the win, keeping their position, and CPT, they were against solos there at the end. One solo after another, just pounding them down, not allowing them to make any moves.
I mean, I guess if you get 25 kills in a game and you can keep making it into the late game, people might start getting mad at you and taking shots whenever there's an opportunity, especially Static. They had a reason to take that. There was a strategic reason, even if it wasn't CPT, but also the fact that it was CPT, you know, probably felt pretty good.
Static picking up the kill point too, so it's not as bad as you thought. You said, great, taking that third place, taking that 7 points. Well, even better, taking another point to go with that. So just a little dessert on top of that meal, and excited to see the leaderboard again.
We're trying to get everything set up as we still only have one more game, and I don't even know, girl. I have no idea. Every single time I start to feel like I'm getting a read on what's going on in the lobby, everything changes and we just get everything turned on its head. And the only thing I know is it does feel like we've got 4 very strong teams that are consistently competitive in the late game.
Yeah, that's very true. There has been some more teams getting in there though. So we've got OCW making their way in. Hopefully they're able to make top 10 with that win. And I actually wonder where they stand, because I don't remember where they were beforehand either.
Yeah, Titans, I'm waiting to see where they're going to be making a move. They have capabilities to try to climb, but I mean, it's just been a hard set of circles. You can see that Titans are doing a good job on trying to find their kills as they are progressing through. It's just not the same amount of kills we saw earlier, and a part of that is just the really weird drop strategies that we see coming out in this lobby.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone's changing their drop spots per game, so it's hard to be a consistent team, and it's hard to adapt when you don't even know what you're adapting to, really. Slybeast was playing really well until they ended up getting pinched and third-partied here. That was really unfortunate for them, because I feel like they were just gaining momentum there.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. I mean, it's a crazy world that we live in, that even performances that we see coming out of Duelist Academy Finest is just not making some of the cuts. It's just being a very dominant performance coming out. I do want to say the fact that it feels like a lot of these teams are starting to find their I guess for lack of a better term, their vibe more. You can see teams that were more passive beforehand starting to realize we can take these fights. We know who we can fight against. And we're not afraid of anybody in this lobby, and we don't care how many kill points you can put up in a game, because we can do it too. And that's just leading into some absolute insanity at the end of this.
I love that play by Logie, punching him into the zone. Static is like, oh, well, I'm dead in the zone. But Logie's just like, that's what you get for thirsting my teammate, man.
And then instantly runs back up. I mean, OCW, you can't fault them. What do? Everybody is fighting to the north. Everybody's fighting to the east. B&B cleared out this whole area before you even got a chance to get here. And so instead, you just find yourself in the circle when nobody else is there. I mean, they picked up the kills, they got the win, but that's just the beneficiary, because the fact that nobody... I think that there's a circle allergy that is going around and is infecting half of this lobby.
Yeah, and the fact that everyone's fighting around them too, like if you hear gunfire, do you really go to the storm, or do you go and try and third party and get some kills and catch up? Well, OCW, they played the late game. They played the, hey, this is a battle royale, I'm gonna win. And that's exactly what they pulled off.
We've been talking about it time and time again. 10 points feels like really all you're really needing to hop on that left side of the leaderboard, get into the top 10, which gives you a berth into the next section. So let's look at the overall standings. OCW ends up in 7th place. Good performance. B&B and CPT tied. Moving in the last game. Are you kidding me? Parallel going to be back behind them. 1 point behind that's going to be Titan. And then we've got AOT at 27. Then we've got Oxalotl coming in at 22. 1 point behind them is OCW, who just picked up their victory. And you can see just that 12 points, getting the victory, is all you need.
Yeah, so our 9th and 10th team at 13 points. So I don't know how far away they are from 11th to 17th, but B&B and CPT, it could not be closer. It's going to be hard for Parallel and Titanes to catch up and take the 2nd place or the 1st place away from them, but that is a lot of pressure on our 1st and 2nd place team. And Parallel and Titanes, they're going to have a fight for 3rd here in this next game.
I want to point out Static also making it into the top 10 based off the placement points they got in that last game, is finally getting some distance from CPT, gets them some points as well. And Duel Academies, man, that feels bad. They were so close to getting at least one more kill point, which could have put them in a better position, and instead they get pounced on the edge of the zone, and that's like the most Apex Legend thing that you can have that would happen to Duel Academy. And they were Duelist Academy, they're out there, they're just trying to take down a solo, and suddenly a team raps from Never Never Land because they hear shots on the other side of a cliff, and they're like, hey, let's go get involved. And they come in and take your kills. They kill you and take your kills. That's just, I've been there, man. I've been there.
Well, they still have one game left to pull this off, and they have one game left to make to that top 10. They're only 1 point away for now. If they have a good, strong game, and maybe they'll learn off the last game. Maybe don't shoot too early. Wait till the team comes in and then ambush them, perhaps. Or maybe they were shooting from long range because the other team had a seer and they were waiting for this team to leave. It's hard to say, but don't fight for too long. That's definitely a big tip for Kings Canyon because someone will come by.
That is the old school strategy that will always get you killed. Tunnel vision in a firefight that feels like it can go on for forever. But if you feel like you can fight and maybe do better than some of these guys, well, just know that you can. You can try to showcase yourself as you can jump in and go to compete.playstation.com and you can join in to play through some of the qualifying rounds. We've got several weeks of action that are going to be lined up, so plenty of opportunities and no reason to not try your hand in the competitive scene. Also, big shout out to PlayStation for all the love in setting up this event, and there are plenty of other games that you might want to make sure that you tune into and get some times on, so that way you can support those as well if you're a big console esports fan. Now then, one game left and we need to take a quick break. Give everybody some time to mentally reflect, prep for this last game, because with only 5, everyone matters, and this last one's going to matter a hell of a lot. See you guys in just a few minutes. In what is an absolutely nuts event and turn of events, we had a phenomenal 25 kill victory show up for CPT, who got back-to-backs, but then B&B has managed to catch up and tie in the last game, and it's all going to be coming down to this. Our last round victors were going to be OCW, who did manage to get themselves a victory, and with that do jump up into a good position. But you can see B&B has not stopped yet. They still think that there is an opportunity, and it is all coming down to the line. Who's going to walk away with first place? Who's going to be on our top 4 and stay in the money? And who is going to be our top 10? A single kill differentiates it all across this leaderboard, and everybody still has an opportunity. This is going to be nuts every step of the way. Looking at it, you can see it's 75 to 75, B&B and CPT, but then we still have 1 point between Parallel and Titans that drop down into AOT, and let's not forget all the way down at the bottom of the leaderboard, CCS, the Static, tied at 13, and then just 1 point behind them is going to be Dual Academies, and 2 points behind that, MKE. Girl, my lord, this is going to be so much track.
Yeah, it's going to be so close for that top 10 spot between about 7th or 8th to 15th. It's going to be close. Anyone can really make it. Even just one win and a few kills can put you into that top 10 threshold, and you could get bumped out easily. So it's going to really come down to the wire.
There is a lot of mental that's going to go into this game that's going to be hard to cover in the thick of all of the action that North America is bringing. But what we want to remind you is kill board monitoring, or kill feed monitoring, however you want to say this, because keeping attention on that means the fact that B&B and CPT have got to track each other's kills. You want to try to survive for the late game, but both of them have been thriving off of getting elimination points. And if they see one team starting to pick up all the elimination points, that means that they have to chase it. There's a big drop-off into third, so they know the fact that playing aggressive is going to be the key to victory, but they don't need to over-aggress and die, because that will spell their doom and hand the victory to the other team. And I don't even know. I just cannot wait for what's about to happen.
Yeah, we've seen it before where people played a little bit too safe, and then even though they made it to the top 3 or even top 2, they lacked on kills, and the team below them surpassed them. So you got to keep an eye on the kill feed, maybe even take a 50-50 contest if you're very daring, but I don't think we'll ever see that happen.
Well, I have to see how it goes. We've got our last game of the day. We'll see if nobody wants to go around the circle, because all of the fun is going to be happening on the edges of the zone. The firefights have been unrelenting. Hot drums have been going on all over the place, but there are just a few stories we have got to make sure that we follow. And I don't even know. We keep seeing even change-ups coming out in Legend selection time and time again through this thing growing.
Yeah, we really have. And the last game is always like a sporadic game. You never know if it's gonna be a little bit slower, since the first few games were a little bit faster. And let's take a look and see what legends are. I already see Revenant.
Well, I mean, if you want to bring the aggression, that is a way to do it. Still sticking on Pathfinder. Carnage, commit. I like it, Trash Can Association. It got you points before. Maybe it can get them for you again.
True commitment can work out. You can always get better on that composition, but I really want to see them land in a little bit of a safer position this time, and I want to see them last a bit longer. Take a look here as 18 squads drop from the ship. Static on the verge of that top 10. See where they land.
Okay, so with containment being a high loot location, we do get another Southern Circle. This is going to reveal itself on jump, so those teams that could be going to the east and were partying around Hydro Dam or Repulsor map room, now going to find themselves in the circle. You can see pings already coming out and going, okay, this is going to be how the lay of the land is going to go. We even have somebody that's already making the drop into Relic, and it looks like it's going to be B&B.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we're going to see a 50-50 contest there. Gauntlet Air Base. Uncontested market as well, uncontested, but it's a little bit more spread out than last time, fortunately. Yeah. for everyone there being a part of that. Hydro Dam has a lot better loot than it used to. I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you've ever dropped there this season, but Hydro Dam actually isn't so bad. It used to be maybe, personally, one of my least favorite spots, and now it's actually you know, just as good as the rest. Very nice shots coming from a Wolfie here. BNB going for the first 3 KP.
And so it begins. Now looking through, seeing if maybe the aggression is going to pay off. You can see hesitation. They don't want to over-aggress, but this is a defensive lineup. How are they going to choose to push in? Looks like they found the vulnerabilities. Quick spray to open it up. Dynasty's going to see it. Find the second one as well. And now just charging out of this one. There is nowhere to go. NLS is going to go down. 3 kills already for BNB. CPT, it's now on you.
That was a very nice clip for Dynasty. 1 by 1 by 1. Good job from the whole team there all together. And CPT also picking up 3 kills as well. So, we've got a little bit of a tie again.
The race is on.
Yeah, the race really is on as both teams take those 50-50 contests to win them with ease. Logie, though, has to slow heal with those syringes. Is anyone nearby? They don't seem to be under any pressure, so I think they're okay.
They've got a team that's far to the north and another one in a runoff, but I think that when you're playing Lake, it's pretty okay.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of teams that are inside the safe zone already, holding down. That early game action seems like that was going to be it. Now, slower rotations and edge fighting has been the name of the game. An earlier rotation and getting into circle can probably get you into the later stages of the game and at least net you some placement points. So we might see a couple of teams opt into just trying to defend the positions that they've already got. Meanwhile, again, it's a kill race. One side, we've got Curiosity that's going to be all the way in Lake into the west, and then to the south on the almost opposite side of the map from them is going to be BNB, now with no targets around either one of them. It's all about how they go.
Not sure if the 3 amigos want to leave caustic treatment because they do have crafting there in the back, and they might be able to get a little bit more attachments or a little bit better loot. Craft some batteries, they're really important. 16 squads left in the back of Relic is BNB. This is a really nice spot to loot because you know there's only 1 or 2 ways that an enemy could come. Nobody really takes, what would you call this? This little tunnel area above. No one really takes that to ambush you from above. So I've never really seen it happen in any of my games, but it is a possibility.
My friends always call it death pipe. I don't know what the actual term for
Yeah,
it is,
pipe.
but it just doesn't go well for us whenever we go over there. So I think that it'll stick in my mind as a way to never make a rotation because it never seems to go well.
Yeah, but I really like holding that back spot. The only thing is once there was a horizon that queued right on over and dropped on our foreheads, and we really didn't expect it. So that's something to consider as well when you're getting pushed by a horizon team. But seems like BNB will be okay for now, and we're back on CPT to see them loot in action.
It's pretty quiet everywhere. We do have AOT that has now ventured into Regretful's sight line. As you can see, Parallel and the rest of the crew are aware of what's going to be going on. They have that one guy back behind them, and yes, that's that guy's name, is that one guy. So they have to be careful as they are sandwiched. So that's why we don't see Parallel being too aggressive yet, playing the opposite side, just trying to get some distance between both of these. It looks like they might have their eyes more set to the south and making some moves around that one guy, Raptors, as well as your boy Mick. Looks like we are going to see Raptors go down, and now Truly Chewy is going to be coming in back behind this. This looks like this is where the fun's going to be happening as you're finally getting your caustic treatment.
Yeah, I love the caustic action. Smoke's going to come through. It's actually really hard to push up onto caustic. Maybe they can get that angle, that beam. Tech does have this head glitch that he can play up on. You could even smoke off the door and then push forward. He scans, he knows no one's too close. He's gonna get these angles inside, even pushing forward and forward. They want to get aggressive. Oh no, Dynasty.
They moved so far north. They were trying to wrap into this Dynasty, taking a lot of damage off of the CPT. Now looking down, this is a fight we were not expected to be brewing at this stage, but it's right at the edge of the zone. CPT still playing on the outside zone. This having to take a second and re-med back up. Logie's going to lean in and try to get to a different position. Dynasty's and Wape also playing over there as we have 2 independent flanks on both sides of it. Now looking in, Logie's getting a ton of damage off, but nothing has swung in favor yet. Both teams jockeying around and trying to make sure that they're playing for a vision and some type of idea on what's going to be going on, realizing this BG back behind this might be moving in, but I think that CPT realized that this is too aggressive. We do not want to stay, and instead is going to wrap to the north. That means the fact that B&B is going to have a pathing along this, but I feel like this is just a short-term separation, as they're bound to bump into each other again on this path.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. They're both going to end up being on the same side of the zone. But thankfully for B&B, BG was nearby because it wasn't looking so good for them. CPT did have the high ground. They had the angles. I think Logie even hit 2 of them with Bangalore Ultimate. But he didn't aggress upon because he wasn't sure that it was B&B that they were fighting. And also, they did not want to die early.
Uh-oh, well, B&B wrapped around this and is looking on the outside of this side of bunker. There's several teams that are going to be over here, but B&B is just refereeing them all, waiting for the bunker rotation to come out. CPT did a great job of surviving very late after they'd taken a whole bunch of storm damage, but remember, that was their worst game. Even just keeping them out here and burning a lot of the meds is going to be a problem, and that's beneficiary in and of itself into B&B. If they can just hold them out here and continue to pick up scraps, that means the fact that CPT is going to come in much, much more weakened.
Oh my goodness, take a look at the zone. Nothing ever changed from our beginning games. No one is in end zone. There are a few people near end zone, I guess, but everyone, the majority of the lobby are north of it, west of it, still in zone, still getting gate capped, still trying to stay alive.
Well,
CPT,
I do want to...
Oh no, Curiosity is going to die in the Silver Storm.
Gonna go and get knocked there. With what we see B&B doing, that pushed BG over here as well. So with this damage coming out, CPT could bump into another squad that might be stronger. Blue Monkey is going to move up here. Several squads now coming into the pathing that CPT is trying to go with, but yet again, B&B can take the shortcut. They can cut through the path right over here through the hills, and now just down to 2, this is just going to be a problem that continues to compound, and I don't know what they're going to be able to do from here, because even once they manage to make it to the safe zone, there's going to be a ton of teams just waiting. Well, nope, they did get a med back up, and they did pass over their meds. So back into 3. They were just all stacked on top of each other on the map. My apologies about that.
Yeah, BG, Pizza Planet, they ended up going down. They died to Storm, I believe, right behind them. Do you think that if CPT were in this position earlier on in the tournament, do you think they would have just taken the fight on the edge of Storm and fought their way in? Or would they be playing as safe as they are now?
I don't know. I mean, they have to know that that was their worst game. And with everything that's going on in the rotation, CPT now has gone back to bunker and is going to be making their way to the south. They did manage to bypass B&B, but yet again, it's just for now.
Yeah, round 2 is closing here in 4 seconds, and they've still got a far way to go. They don't have great rotation. Like, I don't think they have a Valk, so they don't have big rotation ability, but they do have that micro rotation on them. Ramrod playing Mad Maggie. I love Mad Maggie because she could just throw her balls and they could run really fast. Are they behind them?
They're going to walk right up back behind Logie if he's not careful.
No.
The other members for CPT are way behind this, so he's all by his lonesome. If he goes down, he's as good as dead. And they're running right by each other. Ramrod gets vision, starting to get the shots into it, but now just trying to stay ahead of the zone, looking in, realizing he is outnumbered. Logie has got to be careful, but guess what? It's going to be B&B that hears this and now is looking back in on this angle yet again. They are continuing this hard gatekeeping strategy. Now, what is it going to do for them? Can they get the angle around? As even if they manage to pick up the kills, that's an advantage in and of itself. Knocks are going to start coming out, and the problems are going to continue to mount for CPT. Even if B&B manages to pick up these kills, yes, they are. That means the fact that they're moving ahead on the leaderboard, and CPT is still on the chase.
Well, CPT is definitely on the chase. Chase to the zone at least.
Oh.
Dr. Magic popping this med kit. Is he going to be able to get this revive? He should be able to, but...
they're so far away from zone. I mean, there's no way.
He's going to let him die. He's going to let him die. He's going to recover and revive. Instead of allowing Curiosity to use a med kit, he's just going to go for a revive.
Not
He's
the
only
worst
got
idea.
1 med kit. So he's debating, do I craft, do I go, do I craft, do I go? I don't know what to do. Only 1:30 seconds left, so they can't stay in storm for too long. Oh, Dynasty, they got a revive on their team. Oh my goodness, imagine if CPT was here right now. What they could have done if Logie just stayed with his team and they walked up onto this. That would have been great not for B&B, for CPT. If B&B is going to stay on edge of storm for so long, they might even encounter CPT.
Just a couple of kills are what's going to define so much, and B&B moving into this position has absolutely demolished CPT. They didn't get the kills. We often say, yes, elimination points are huge, but sometimes just forcing a change in somebody's strategy gives you the momentum and the capabilities to move forward. B&B, realizing the fact that it has been forever, is finally leaving their gatekeeping position, and it looks like Dr. Magic and Curiosity might manage to make it in. The crates that were left behind might give them the momentum to manage to make it out of the storm.
And maybe there's potential respawn beacons in some of these boxes. If so, that'd be great. One was already used, though. We know that B&B used one so far. They got 15 seconds left to make it into storm. I don't think they make a revive here. I think they just have to make their way into zone and figure out Logie's situation a little bit later on.
It's just a matter of stabilizing right now. Meanwhile, B&B, we can see Loot already back into a good position. They've got Duelist Academy's finest to the south of them, and that's going to be the new target, already hitting directly onto Health. Looks like more KP could be popping off any second. There's one picked up. Duelist Academy is eliminated, and now starting to get more and more of a distance away from CPT. There are more squads. ADMP already spotted out an entire squad that's going to be rotating in front of them. It's going to be one clip, now getting vision, and this is going to be another set of kills. There's not even going to be anything for CPT to try to pick up. Even if they manage to make it into the zone, they're having to rotate so far away just to get distance away from B&B.
Yeah, but B&B could die here, and if they do, there is chance for CPT. But if they don't and they make top 3, I think CPT is out of luck, like you said.
What is going to be happening now? All of this is all going on. We do have a couple of teams. Mr. Still Your Girl, KP, is inside the circle, and the rest of the squad now feeling safer. They're doing a good job of getting into this, but we also do have, I believe it's Parallel, that's going to be to the north and could be converging in over here. One clip, as well as the rest of the team, is going to be pathing right in front of B&B, and B&B hasn't opted into taking this fight yet, just due to the complexity of the terrain and not seeing an open push point.
I'm really curious as to why they did not revive Logie at the 82 tower. They decided not to, and they're working their way into zone.
Oh, I think they're going to the next one, next to map room.
And the one next to map room. That might be a little bit safer, actually. Oh my goodness, 150 mid-air by ADMP. This could be the end for the squad below. The shots are hitting every single shot. The accuracy is insane right now.
B&B is just vibing. The entirety of the lobby is playing around them. They've got strings, and everyone around them is just puppets. The only other contender that could be close to them is going to be Parallel and how they opt into playing this. Still holding down good positioning. They've got high ground looking into so much of what's going to be going on. CPT, I think, finally do get their res back up. So now have managed to land and looking like they could be fighting an uphill battle into Truly Chewy and the rest of the team, as at this stage, I don't know how much is left to be had. High ground and just assaulting a fortress. You can see it's just a castle. All it needs is a drawbridge going around it, and this is going to be such a hard task for such a weakened CPT.
Okay, and they go for the portal here on the side. They have to LOS top. They cannot play inside. They wanted to, but they cannot get inside. So what is their backup plan? Do they have a backup plan? Do they just decide to play here and play LOS for now? I think it's just a duo inside. They're nading in. They want this. They want this fight. They need the kills anyhow.
Yeah, and they just haven't been able to find any yet, and this has stalled them out so much. B&B is still out into the west and is going to have to make some moves in. Keep in mind, we still only have 15 people alive, so that is not much left on the kill totals to work around and try to get those elimination points, especially when so many of these people are so hard to get to, and there's just such a vertical location. You can see they're just trying to figure out how to path through this safely, and it's so hard to find. I think that we might see some repositions as, yes, finally jumping down the bait. Looks like that was what was going to be trying to happen. Shield cell is going to go off. Did they manage to draw enough of what's going to be going on? As it looks like CPT is even leaving this position. They are going to move around outside of this, and they still cannot find an angle to assault.
I think they're waiting for their drone to come back. I think Dr. Magic's drone did get destroyed. Oh my goodness, take a look at the other side.
Yeah.
The other building, in fact. Mr. Steelio KP doing his best to stay alive, but he's getting bombarded by BNB. They're doing so much damage. Trash Can Association eliminated right once again. Oh my goodness.
A fitting name. Mr. Steelio KP is going to go down and feed that KP away from CPT into BNB, who are now have so much momentum in this girl. Like, what can CPT do? They can't even get into a position to get into a firefight.
Well, they have to push this duo, no doubt. They know it's a duo because I think Dr. Magic scanned them. They have to just do it. They have to get in there and do it. Even knowing they have a team above them, they need those kill points. Otherwise, they're staying at that second place, I think.
Now have counter moved around. We do have Parallel that's in the north, as BNB is still just a roaming wolf pack. And they've got the scent of so many teams. It looks like now they're starting to make a play into Parallel, and that could be more points going over, but this could also spell their doom. CPT is now making their push at the exact same time. They have the advantage, and they're starting to get the knocks. Everything is starting to come together. OCW does go down, but now what's going to be happening in the north? Parallel instantly retreats from BNB, as now BNB is trying to make sure that they continue this press, but can it be too much? With this reposition, high ground has now been given over to BNB.
Yeah, they have a really good spot, but they will have to move. I think they have to jump right now, and they are going to. In fact, they have ultimates, but they're getting shot at from the side. A Wolfie scoping in. Doesn't scan them just yet, but that is CPT. No. If CPT wins this and they die in fourth, there could be a chance CPT ends up winning the whole thing. Let's take a look.
But BNB has the chance to clinch it. They have been in so much control, gets the angle into it, and that is a quick exchange between the two sides. Dynasty is down, but there was a down on the opposite side for it as well. Now it's all coming together. CPT has gone down. BNB has weathered the storm by forcing CPT into the storm. We're going to see a quick reposition coming out from Parallel as they're trying to capitalize off of this down, trying to get this. You can see that Regretful has gotten stopped on the other side, still trying to commit into this res as fast as possible. Harassment coming on the opposite side from it, still just trying to make sure that they commit into the spray. But now everybody is converging into B&B. They're just trying to hold it together. The angles are coming out from everywhere. B&B goes down as well. Parallel now just trying to hold the top of this, dancing around. Your boy Mick on the outside of it gets some vision around the smokes, but it's all going to be about three amigos. They are the latest aggressors, just two teams, and they are both at 3 alive.
Was there a knock, though, on Parallel? Did they end up getting that revive? I'm not 100% sure if it is 3 on Parallel. Yeah, they have one knock, so it is a 2v3 indeed. They're going to queue up. They're going to see if they can get the hipfire spray. 140. That was a really good spray. Can we get the knock? We do. And now we need an armor swap or a shield battery getting popped off in air. Regretful. Not feeling so regretful as he gets the battery off. This is going to be huge. If he can get another one clip with the Volt. He hits on Flesh. I think it was somebody else. Parallel win. Well, how did they do that?
That is some masterful dancing around those crates to pick up that last game, and this was just absolutely nuts, girl. I haven't been able to even keep track of how many kills they got, but they were in the north. While all that was going on with CPT and BNB, I think that they were picking up kills as well, so I don't even know what we're going to be looking at moving into this next leaderboard.
And they just pulled off a 2 versus 3 with that Horizon Q. That was incredible, and I want to see from his teammates' POV too, because it's just a little bit, but they did so incredibly well. But I think we know who ended up winning our first qualifiers.
CPT can take a moral victory off of not dying to zone, because that felt like that was almost their destiny, but somehow get 3 members back up, but it's just such a hard circle to handle there as they are so underlooted. Looking through, you can see it just started off pedal to the metal, and it was just counter moves and reading each other the whole way through.
What a shot by Curiosity. 126 early game. That is something to be proud of, because your enemies typically only have 150, 175 HP. And Gold, Josh, they were gatekeeping. They kind of slowed CPT down a bit. They got Loki knocked there, but they were also late to the storm. Everyone was late to storm because it was just so far away. BNB with this high ground, utilizing both double tap and single fire and horizon to keep and maintain this height. This was beautiful.
Yeah, this is just so, I mean, there's so many amazing plays that happened in this last game. It's just hard to count, just charging in. I can't get over, again, like you were talking about, 150 damage, mid-air, popping off. CPT somehow managing to find a vulnerability and getting some kill points, pushing into the later stages of this game. Parallel, and what we're about to see is about one of the nuttiest things that I think I have ever seen in Apex.
Yeah, BNB did their best to survive here. These were great shots by Lopi. I think knocking two there, beautiful, and then Parallel. This hip fire, crazy, unreal, super good, and then being able to pop off the battery in the gravity lift as well. So using that same gravity lift twice, insane.
Just played it perfectly, and will it reward Parallel? 16 kills in a victory might be something that could be big. I don't know, because we did see the fact that BNP was hunting down a lot of kills. But this is going to be a great last game for Parallel, regardless. Going to be holding in the top 4. But was it enough to assault even into second place?
Yeah, really, at the end of the day, if you're able to slay the lobby and secure yourself a first place victory, you know you have potential to be able to win in our grand finals. And the more and more you play, the more and more you learn. It's going to be a really exciting series.
What are we going to be looking at as we're going to be moving forward? We know CPT managed to double it up. BNB never relented. They didn't get as many wins as CPT did, but that's fine. They managed to find the kills, and they found it through consistency. We're going to start at the bottom of our leaderboard and work our way up. Pizza Planet just cannot make it on the outskirts of a dual academies as well. CCS, MKE, Trash Can Association, Team Ramrod 2, NLS, Heartstruck Rookie, and Headhunters. We hope to see you back in the next set of qualifiers, and we hope that you manage to pick up some skills and some love. But what are we looking at up at the top? And yes, it is going to be BNB. They managed to do it with a beautiful gatekeep onto CPT. Back behind that, Parallel getting some distance from Titans, who do manage to hold out our top 4. Behind that are going to qualify are going to be AOT, ACW, Axolotl, the 3 Amigos, who managed to find some kills in that last game and making it into the later stage. Static holding on, and Mortal Animosity as well, rounding out our top 10.
Wow, what a phenomenal day. Now that's the end of our series today. 5 games, casted 10 whole games, but beautiful plays by both regions, EU and NA. NA specifically a lot more aggressive, so definitely really hard to adjust to if you're in a lobby like this. And I know so many teams in that bottom 10 were trying so hard. They were making their way to endgame, but it was just so hard to fight against 3 red armors there at the end by BNB, CPT, Parallel, and Titanes. They were just carrying the lobby.
Look at this. Look at the amount of kills in our top 4, and then the way it just drops like a brick back behind that, bottoming it out. I mean, you can see that this was just a course in consistency between all of these teams. BNB taking the crown at the end of it. But don't forget, we still have a lot of this to go through. This is just starting off, and we have a ton of future events that we're going to be working through for the wild card series as we move out of this. You can see that we've got September 10th. It's going to be starting at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then we're going to be moving on to September 24th and October 8th. This is just going to be a continual chase for so many of these teams to fight their way through. And if you watch this and you are inspired and you want to participate, remember, you can. That's what this is all about. We want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to compete and can showcase what they've got. As you can go over to compete.playstation.com and show up and compete against the best in everything that you just saw here. And I've got to say, girl, this was a nuts day. I was just happy to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's just so much action and variety of action. We've seen so many legends being played, Bangalore specifically. I feel like different legends played better in different regions. For EU, it was playing it slow, going to end zone, playing building, gatekeeping from there. And in NA, it was everyone's on edge, everyone's together, everyone's fighting, and it was a very aggressive day of 5 games. So really fun to watch. There are 3 more qualifiers, as you said. So if you have a PS4, tell your friends, tell your family, come on and join us for the next broadcast. But you got to qualify. So make sure you sign up.
Any qualifier, if you find yourself in the top 10, you're going to be finding yourself at the finals. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody, even those that didn't qualify. You put on an amazing show and showcased everything that we were wanting to see in this event. We hope to see everybody coming back, this qualified, sitting back, watching everything that's going to be going, as there are still so many opportunities. On behalf of production, on behalf of everybody that is working on this, thank you so much for watching. We could not do this without you. You matter so much, and we hope that you had a ton of fun. For Girl, for myself, and for every single player, thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you at the next event. Till then, see you out there on the firefighting.
PlayStation